Andrew Zhao opened the season on the Alabama bench. Without him, the Crimson Tide wouldn't be here. 3 straight wins to send Bama bowling. Iowa State is led by the electric Seneca Wallace, one of the Big 12's best. Zhao and Wallace meet next. They will meet here tonight in Shreveport. Capital One Bowl Week stops in Shreveport for the mainstay Independence Bowl. We've got some Big 12, we've got some SEC, and we've got a good matchup. Alabama comes in at 6-5, Iowa State at 7-4. Hi, everybody. I'm Rich Waltz along with Mark May. Welcome to Shreveport. And you know what? I think that's what Dennis Franchione said to his team when they walked off the bus. Welcome to Shreveport. Welcome back to a bowl game. Getting them here in his first year, I think, was a big step for his program.
It definitely was. And what he had to do is get his players to buy in. This team was in total disarray when he took over. And one of the most important players that had to buy in was senior quarterback Andrew Zhao. He's the career touchdown leader and total yards gainer in Alabama history. And if you think that's not a big deal, look at the litany of players on this list of quarterbacks that played for Alabama. Joe Namath, Kenny Stabler, Richard Todd. Those are some of the greats of all time, Rich.
A quick turnaround for Alabama to get back. It took a while for Dan McCarney to get Iowa State here, but boy has he. They went to a bowl game last year. They won it. Their first win ever, and that is a huge accomplishment. One of the reasons they're back this year, Seneca Wallace, his quarterback.
And he's been magnificent at the quarterback position, not just throwing the football, but also running with the football. He's averaged over 4 yards a carry, and he's most dangerous when he breaks out of the pocket.
Okay, we've talked quarterbacks. Let's talk running backs. Heather Cox.
Well, Rich, Alabama certainly has the best rushing team in the SEC, especially with the return of Santonio Beard, who was reinstated following a mid-season DUI arrest and who joins forces with Ahmad Galloway to form one of the most potent backfield duos in the country. Beard rushed for 2 touchdowns in the win against Auburn, but has not played since then, a layoff of nearly 6 weeks. But Galloway is coming off back-to-back 100-yard games and carries the ball very well. Now, Rich, Alabama is 10th in the nation in rushing yards per game. Iowa State is 10th in its conference in rushing defense. No surprise, Alabama will try to get the ball in the hands of its 2-back attack.
All right, thank you, Heather. And Heather was happy to find out, as Chris Fowler pointed out, no snow this year. Last year it snowed for the first time in 8 years in Shreveport. Tonight, no snow. 52 degrees, temperature dropping, and the wind not much of a factor right now. About a 4-mile-an-hour swirl through Independence Stadium, which has been enlarged this year. The capacity now up over 50,000. They expect a large crowd, over 20,000 from Alabama coming, and a little over 10,000 from Iowa State. Those fans making the trip to Shreveport. Iowa State won the toss. Dan McCarney said, "We want the football." And they'll get it. Alabama, of course, winning their final 3 games to get here, to get to 6-5. Iowa State beat their cross-state rivals, Iowa, to deliver themselves at 7-4. Lane Bearden, the junior, ready to kick it. And we are underway. A short kick brought out to the 34-yard line. And that's where Iowa State will put it in play. Seneca Wallace, we've talked about him. He's got a lot of weapons. He can run, he can throw, and when he turns around, he's got a fabulous running back he can give the ball to, Ennis Haywood.
And he's not very flashy, but what he'll do is he'll lean forward for that extra yards, and he always gets 4 or 5 yards a carry.
It's a team that'll run some speed option, and Mark, they'll go multiple. You'll see 3 receivers. A lot of looks from this Iowa State offense. Seneca Wallace last year was quarterbacking Sacramento City Junior College. Big 12 newcomer of the year, has made quite a splash. Wallace rolling. And throwing, man open, caught at the 30-yard line. It's Campbell, and he's down to the 26. Craig Campbell, the senior, And there in one play is what Seneca Wallace can bring you.
And Rich, that's why he's so dangerous with the football in his hands. Defensive coordinator for Alabama, Carl Torbush, told us he wants to keep this quarterback, Seneca Wallace, in the pocket. Here's the replay. This is what he does so well. On the run, he just flicks the ball out there for the huge gain for the offense of Iowa State. That's what they want to prevent, is getting him out of the pocket. Iowa State comes off right off the bat and put him out of the pocket. They roll him out.
39-yard pickup. Wallace to Campbell. Option to Haywood. Smelled out nicely by the Alabama defense. Iowa State's offensive line is very big and very talented.
You look at the biggest player out there, Marcel the Selbach Howard. He's one of the biggest players on their line at 6'6", 320. He is the ringleader of this ball.
Against an active 4-3 defense up front, Jarrett Johnson is someone you'll see a lot of tonight.
And he's had an outstanding year, particularly the last 4 games. He's been one of the most productive defensive tackles in the SEC.
It's a 4-3 speed rush look. They've got lots of speed in the linebackers and on the defensive ends with Kendall Moorhead and Aries Monroe. Wallace, swing pass, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Jamal Montgomery. Alabama's linebackers, very, very good, especially in the middle.
They're not very big, but they're very quick, and Salim Rashid is their leader. 115 tackles on the year.
The secondary has only 6 interceptions this season. That's one area that Carl Torbush and his head coach Dennis Franchione would like to see improved play in tonight. Dixon and Bolden on the outside, Miles and Bacon the safeties. 3rd down 12, first possession. From the Alabama 29. Wallace in trouble, steps through it to the 25, and Wallace is across the 20, short of the first down. Brooks Daniels, the sophomore linebacker, got him.
And this is the other dimension that Seneca Wallace brings you. Here he feels the heat, but he has the ability, when he steps up to run the ball, he'll take it right down the teeth of the defense, in the middle of the defense, and pick up as much yards possible. That's another reason why they want to keep him in the pocket. I mean the Alabama defense. They want him set in the pocket, throwing the ball down the field.
A redshirt freshman kicker who also punts. This is a real rarity in college football. Tony Yelp, 8 of 18 this year, is long from 47, this from 36. Boy, he certainly got into that one.
Wow.
And it's good. And Dan McCarney's Cyclones wanted the ball, they got the ball, and they're on the board. The May-State Independence Bowl underway. Iowa State a 3-0 lead.
To test the power of interstate batteries. Anyone for a power shake?
Hey, this baby's cranking out some power.
Interstate batteries, power fast, built to last.
Hey, this one first, second, third place.
Japanese are expecting a war.
Now on DVD and video, history comes alive.
We have to strike the heart of Japan the way they have hit us.
Pearl Harbor. Own it now on DVD and video.
You just got over the holidays and you've about run out of money. The last thing you need now is to run out of minutes. Well, now you don't have to. Sign up with Singular Wireless and you'll get unlimited talk time during nights and weekends on plans starting at just $19.99. You'll also get a deal on a Nokia phone, and that is pretty cool. Singular Wireless. What do you have to say?
Okay.
Tony Yelk from 36 yards, and Iowa State has the first score in this Independence Bowl. 3-0 lead for the Cyclones. Dan McCarney very serious about this week. Mark, they came down here. There were no walkthroughs for Iowa State this week.
No, they took it seriously. And when I played for the Washington Redskins and we went to Super Bowls, Joe Gibbs, our head coach, took it seriously. When we got there, it was full pads. He wanted everybody callous to the hits. So when you got on the field to play, there were no surprises. You were just as physical or more physical than the opposition.
Full pads, lots of hitting for Iowa State. And boy, Tony Yoke is pumped up. The redshirt freshman hit the field goal. And he drops this one through the end zone. And Alabama gets their first possession. Andrew Zhao, his freshman, sophomore, junior year, a starter. But this year, Tyler Watt started. But Andrew Zhao out of the bullpen led him to 3 consecutive wins. He's got some weapons behind him and in front of him. Freddie Millins is his big play receiver.
And Freddie Millins is more of a possession receiver. 152 receptions in his career, the all-time Alabama leader.
Zhao's numbers, and they're not that impressive, but remember, he's only started 2 games. And Alabama will start it on the ground. Galloway out to midfield. Ahmad Galloway, the junior, 29 yards on Alabama's first play. Iowa State ripped off 39, Alabama 29.
Outstanding job by the offensive line, particularly Justin Smiley, the quick guard pulling around, getting his block, a little fold technique on the inside, but it's Ahmad Galloway breaking the tackles and heading down the field, picking up the positive yard.
Galloway 80 yards a game, 3rd in the SEC. Shotgun for Zhao. Out of nowhere, he's hammered. Matt Word, the middle linebacker, came in hot. And the junior out of Miami has a big sack. Alabama's offensive line, pretty darn good, but really young.
They start 3 redshirt sophomores on this line. They only average 300 pounds. And Les Kenning, the offensive coordinator, told us they're going to get bigger.
Yes. 4-3 look for John Sclodany, the coordinator for Iowa State. Not a big play defensive line. They allow the linebackers to make the play, as you saw with Matt Word.
But they replaced all 4 starters from last year's group. All those players went to the NFL.
Zhao, option pitch, Ray Hudson. Mark Timmons, the free safety, came up to get him. Linebackers for Iowa State are the playmakers. You've already seen Matt Word.
And he's outstanding. 106 tackles, flies around to the ball. He is their leader on the defensive side of the ball.
The safeties are outstanding tacklers as well. You saw Timmons on that play. Adam Runk is the heart and soul of this defense. Austin on the outside with Cluis. Zhao on 3rd and 20. Caught at midfield by Sam Collins, but he'll be well short of the first down.
Rich, this is more or less a statement game for Iowa State. Playing the big boys, the Alabamas, they want to step up and make big plays. They've been flying all over the field to play. And Andrew Zhao rolling to his right, trying to get away from the pursuit. He does and throws the ball on the run. We have 2 outstanding quarterbacks that can throw the ball on the run, but it's that defense and pursuit. Look at all those red jerseys from Iowa State collapsing around the back.
Iowa State's defense, one of the better defenses out of the Big 12. Lane Bearden, the kick. Wagner will watch it land at the 10 and roll inside the 5. And Alabama will cover it at the 3. We are underway in Shreveport. Iowa State a 3-0 ball. Their ball when we get back.
AOL keeps me closer to the people I love.
Everyone I know is on AOL.
I have a best friend that lives in Denver. With AOL, I talk to her every day.
We send pictures of our kids to their grandparents.
Oh, my grandpa loves AOL. He's on all the time.
Opening email is like Christmas. You know, you just never know what's coming.
Definitely keeps me connected to family and friends.
I mean, I'm even on my grandma's buddy list.
Am I on your buddy list?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
America Online. So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. Call 1-800-4ONLINE.
100th anniversary, we invite you to come in and take a nice, relaxing cruise. Find great values at the Mercedes 100th anniversary event, our anniversary gift to you.
Major Applewhite is back as Texas fights to hold off Washington. Texas, Washington, the Culligan Holiday Bowl, Friday, December 28th on ESPN.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2001 Mainstay Independence Bowl is presented by Mainstay, proud sponsor of the Mainstay Independence Bowl, and in part by American Eagle. Miss your friends? Go to AA.com for special low fares on American Airlines and American Eagle.
Shreveport, Bossier City area, the riverboats. And inside Independence Stadium, Iowa State with a long ways to go, but a 3-0 lead.
Rich, this is a situation where you're going to see Ennis Haywood carry the ball. They want to pound the football, get him some field position.
There's Haywood doing the pounding. And he had not much room to run. Got to the 3.
Iowa State has been very successful this year when they control the football, when they control the clock. That's what they like to do, is pound the ball. Iowa State has won the time possession 8 out of 11 games this season. That's what they like to do. They like to control it, line up that big running back in the backfield, and hit you in the mouth and control the clock in the line of scrimmage.
5'11", 220. And he came back bigger this year.
Gained some weight and kept his speed.
There's the speed on display. He's out across the 10 to the 11. Brooks Daniels, the sophomore linebacker, got him.
Rich, what a wonderful job of visiting by Enos Haywood. Watch this. He's going to take the ball to the left, and look at the cutback lane. Great seal blocking by the offensive line, but it's his vision allowing him to see the backside blocks to come and pick up the extra yardage.
Out of Dallas, Texas. This is a much shorter drive for his mom, who's a postal worker in Dallas. She was making the drive up to Ames, Iowa to watch him play every other week.
This trip is a walk in the park.
I know. Happy to be in Shreveport. 3rd down and 2. Wallace caught at the 11. Rashid to make the play, and it's not enough for the first down. Salim Rashid, the junior out of Birmingham.
That just illustrates the speed of Alabama. They're not very big on defense, but they have tremendous speed. Salim Rashid, 115 tackles. Watch number 11. He's going to foul the quarterback, Wallace. Look at his eyes. Then all of a sudden, he'll break out to the flat. That's just lateral quickness of getting from point A to point B to make the play.
Tony Yelk, the redshirt freshman. And a good booming kick. Freddie Millens bobbled it and is caught at the 35, spilled back to the 32. DeAndre Phillips on a 54-yard punt. The Culligan Holiday Bowl this Friday, Texas and Washington, an 8:30 Eastern start, and it's Verge Friday. Mark, I know you're going to be logged on to ESPN.com for this one. Texas and Washington. What is Verge Friday? Well, they're going to have real-time coaching analysis on ESPN.com. Jim Donnan's got Washington. Dick Tomey's got Texas. User email, an interactive broadcast for the Culligan Holiday Bowl. Zhou's throw is high and incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Going back to that Culligan Holiday Bowl, I think it's a great decision by Texas head coach Mack Brown of starting Major Applewhite. Here's a kid that's been in his program his entire career. Didn't get a chance to start because of Chris Sims, who's now the starting quarterback. But to start a leader like that, a player that's performed so well for Texas.
And that story is a lot like this story. You see the last 3 games for Andrew Zhou. Tyler Watts was the starter until game 8 when he pulled a groin muscle. In comes Zhou and wins 3 in a row. And from 3-5 to 6-5, here's Alabama in a bowl game. Donnie Lowe, the carry. He doesn't carry the ball much. It was only his 20th carry this year. Usually Ahmad Galloway and Santonio Beard, who we haven't seen yet, are the featured backs.
What Iowa State's doing is they're making tackles with their front four. They're trying to create penetration against the big Alabama offensive line, and I think that's key. This is a conference-to-conference battle. There's a statement in the point that Iowa State wants to make, and right now they're winning the battle in the trenches.
Jason McCadley in motion, and Zhao to the sidelines, caught. The dive by McCadley. Let's see if he came close. Did not.
And that's just sound defense by Iowa State, getting to the ball. The pursuit to get to the football is key for Iowa State. They're going to try to put pressure on Zhao. It's not there, but get to the football. This is key. If you can't make the tackle, push him out of bounds.
And Alabama has to kick. Lane Bearden, 47-yarder, which died at the 3. Michael Wagner will try to make a catch on this one. He's lined up right at the 10. Bearden normally has good hang time. This one pushed to the right, and they'll mark it at the 26-yard line. Mark May, I'm not sure where you were last year.
I was warm.
I know. You weren't at the Independence Bowl last year. Texas A&M, Mississippi State. Mississippi State blocked this kick in overtime. That was an extra point. They returned it for 2 and then scored to win it 43-41. It snowed a bunch the entire game.
And that was one of the best games to watch from my living room.
For some reason, this game in the last few years has been a very, very entertaining game. One of the better bowl games to watch. Wallace, there's the speed option. He's out across the 35 to the 37-yard line. It's a Big 12 SEC matchup, and a lot of times you get programs that are on the rise that want to make a statement. I think we have that here tonight.
And I think definitely so. And you look at a team like an Iowa State and what Dan McCarney's been able to do with this program year in and year out. The big kicker for him is to beat Iowa. They've been able to accomplish that 4 years in a row. Their in-state rivalry. But this program has gotten better and better year to year. And I think a key to that is he got a good quarterback. From Sage Rosenfels last year, now transitioning to Seneca Wallace this year. That was key to his program.
They've always had great running backs at Iowa State in McCarney's tenure. On 1st and 10, this is Wagner. Now to the 38-yard line.
And when you talk about quarterbacks in the Big 12, you think of the Heisman Trophy winner, Eric Crouch. But look at this, total yards per game. Seneca Wallace is ahead of Eric Crouch. Cliff Kingsbury from Texas Tech is the leader of the Big 12 conference. But here you're talking about a first-year quarterback right out of junior college. And that's what's most impressive about Seneca Wallace. When I break down the tape and broke down the tape, I was impressed with this. When he turns the corner, he's got the speed of a tailback. But then he's so accurate throwing the football. That's what you'll see this evening.
He started his career at Oregon State and then transferred back to Sacramento City Junior College. And he's on the money there. Jack Whitver across midfield. And Iowa State has another first down. It's a gain of 14 yards.
Rich, that's exactly what I was talking about. The accuracy of the ball. He's so smooth and so fluid when he rolls out of the pocket. Just as well when he rolls to the left, he's so smooth and fluid, and that's a tough accomplishment. There he rolls to the right, and that's what's most impressive. You see coaches try to coach players when they roll to the left to slow it down, stop, and throw the ball. He can throw the ball on the run, and you don't even see that often at the next level in the NFL.
Iowa State coaches told us they weren't quite sure what they had. They knew he was good. They didn't know he would be this good, and he has really impressed this year. Haywood inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. A 5-yard pickup. And the offense that they're running is a bit different from last year. With Rosenfels, they didn't run as much speed option, did they?
No, they didn't. He was more of a drop-back quarterback, more of a pro-style quarterback, and he didn't have the athleticism of Seneca Wallace. But with Seneca Wallace in this offense, it makes it a lot easier for Ennis Haywood to pick up those yards because most of the defensive backs and linebackers are keen on quarterback Seneca Wallace.
On 2nd down, that one incomplete. Whitver, the intended receiver.
You know, maybe the defensive coordinator for Alabama, Carl Torbush, has something there, because basically the only time that quarterback Seneca Wallace didn't look comfortable was staying in the pocket.
And Torbush said he hasn't seen anyone quite like Wallace in this conference, but of course Carl at North Carolina and then at North Carolina State for a year saw some guys in the ACC he thought were comparable to Wallace.
We thought Woodrow Danza was just that type of quarterback, but he thinks Seneca Wallace has more speed than Woodrow Danza running the ball.
That's saying something. Shotgun blitz coming on 3rd and 5. It's overthrown and incomplete. And Carl Torbush gambles a bit. Blitzes. And Iowa State's going to have to kick.
And that gamble paid off. That was a nice design play on the blitz, on the screen. The screen was there. It was open, but quarterback Seneca Wallace didn't have a chance to set and drop the ball into his receiver.
We've seen an awful lot of Tony Yelk already.
He's been impressive.
Yeah, he has. You can thank Dan McCarney's father-in-law for Yelk being on campus. His father-in-law lives up in Madison, Wisconsin. Scouted this kid in high school, kept sending Dan tapes. Dan finally said, all right, I'll watch him. He did, and he's glad he did, because this redshirt freshman is a field goal kicker and a punter, has been fabulous this season and tonight. Iowa State a 3-0 lead.
You know what? It's decision time.
You have to decide. Are you going to get that body in shape or just let it slide?
There's an easy way to do it. The secret is Bowflex. Bowflex is about strength training, working out to get stronger and build muscle.
You burn calories and it reshapes your body.
Over 60 different health club quality exercises, all in one easy-to-use machine.
Bowflex, it's for real.
You look great.
It actually works.
This feels great.
Hey, I'm 42, and I'm in better shape now than I was at 22.
You just feel better about yourself.
Hey, you want to lose weight?
Get the results you want. Bowflex will work.
You just have to try.
Bowflex is the only choice for home fitness.
Call now for a free video and brochure, or go online at bowflexdirect.com. Get started with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month.
Bowflex. Who says change isn't easy?
The most wonderful week of the year.
Capital One Bowl Week continues Friday. At 1:30, the Aggies battle TCU. At 5, BC takes on Georgia. And at 8:30, Texas tries to hold off Washington. Texas A&M TCU. The GalleryFurniture.com Bowl at 1:30. Boston College, Georgia, the Music City Bowl at 5. Texas, Washington, the Culligan Holiday Bowl at 8:30. Capital One Bowl Week, Friday on ESPN.
Back in Shreveport, Iowa State up 3-0 early. Now Alabama is playing without starting wide receiver Antonio Carter, who was one of 4 players deemed academically ineligible for this game. In his spot is a sophomore who doesn't have as much experience. Triandos Luke gets the start in Carter's spot, but Alabama thinks that thanks to the flexible system, they won't lose much with Carter out.
Thanks, Heather. They're backed up right now. Galloway across the 5, out to the 10, to the 11. That's all part of Coach Franz holding his program accountable. It's one of the things, Mark, he said when he got to Alabama, he wanted to make the players accountable for their mistakes, and drawing the line academic-wise. It's something we see during the layoff from the end of the regular season to the bowl season. A lot of times, players don't finish what they start academically.
Well, players were looking for direction when he got here, and he gave them a sense of purpose and direction. And that's what young players need. They need the discipline. They need to be taught and shown where to go and what to do.
2nd and short. They keep it on the ground with Galloway, and it's a 1st down.
Rich, I think now that Alabama's figured it out that we can run on this defense if we continue to try to pound the ball. And that sequence of plays, you just saw them line up and just hit you right in the mouth. And I think that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to attempt to do that throughout the game and hope that they can spring a big play during the game. And I think the back that's going to do it is probably Santonio Beard. He's got that breakaway speed, but we haven't seen him.
Well, it's been Ahmad Galloway so far. On 1st and 10. Zhao. On the pitch. Out to the 20. And there's Santonio Beard. for the first time. What's different about Beard as opposed to Galloway?
Well, you've got a Mr. Inside, and that's Ahmad Galloway. He's more of a power guy, and he's a smart guy in picking up pass protection. He's just more equipped to do that because he's been able to do that throughout his career. But then you look at a San Antonio Beard, and you just drool when you see an athlete like this. He's got the ability every time to touch the ball, take it to the outside, make something happen, and making something happen is taking it all the way for the score.
His biggest game was in Alabama's biggest game this year. The Iron Bowl win over Auburn. He went for 199 yards on just 20 carries. Zal going to put it up deep for Millens, and he overthrew him. It's incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 5.
And Andrew Zal has to be a little bit more patient on this play. Had his receiver where he wanted him. 2 coverage personnel for Iowa State down the field to play. But he throws it too early. Watch, he's not being pressured on this play. Play action fake. He can stand in the pocket. Then he sets and throws. If he waits another half a second to throw this football, he's going to have a chance to complete this pass.
Third down, 5. Word on a blitz. McCadley the catch at the 27. It's enough for the first down for Alabama.
You have to be impressed with the athleticism, the calm and the cool of Andrew Zal. Here he is in the pocket. Matt Word's on the blitz right in his face, and he stands tall, turns, and wings the ball to the outside, and that's arm strength. He didn't put everything into that. His feet were set like a quarterback's feet should be, but he's got the arm strength to throw that out and get the ball and complete it to Jason McCadley.
McCadley is the speed guy in this Crimson Tide wide receiver crew. Harold Cluess, the corner who was covering McCadley, was shaken up on the play. And he's on his way to the Iowa State sideline. There's a look at McCadley's numbers. 2 touchdowns on 18 catches. There's Cluess. He'll step out. Sophomore Johnny Smith steps into his spot. Alabama started this drive backed up to their own goal line. Zal on the move. Caught from behind, dropped. Jordan Karstens. Second time Iowa State has brought down Zal.
Complete penetration by Jordan Karstens, getting through the blockers. Here he is to the left of the screen. He just fights between 2 blockers. No one blocks him. 58 and 78 are saying, you got him. No, you got him. Alonzo Ephraim the center and Justin Smiley the guard. You're supposed to slide to that and help each other. They just left him one-on-one alone, and Jordan Karstens did a magnificent job of splitting both blockers, getting to the quarterback for the center.
John Sclodati, the defensive coordinator, happy with that one. Little inside handoff. This is Beard. Great pursuit by Iowa State. And they drop Santonio Beard back to the 17-yard line. Brandon Brown, the freshman out of Houston. And again, Matt Word in on the stop.
Thus far in this game, he's probably been the most impressive defensive player on the field. Sideline to sideline, blitzes the quarterback, anything to the outside from his middle linebacker position, he's able to track down to the field.
And all of a sudden, Iowa State is stopping the Alabama rushing attack. Third and 20 again for Alabama. Big hit. Flag goes down at the line of scrimmage, though, not near the hit. Ateef Austin had to take on the big tight end Terry Jones Jr.
And you holding Bama.
Yeah. ACC crew you'll get in all the bowl games. Crews from different conferences.
Holding on the offense. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
Dennis Franchione worked out all week in this stadium rather than go to a high school or a different field. He wanted to practice on this artificial grass, the Astro play, because Alabama had not been on it before. Wagner from his 34. And Wagner gets back to the 40. A 6-yard return. Capital One Bowl Week continues. Texas A&M and TCU tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern on ESPN. Dennis Franchioni's old team, Gary Patterson, KC Printers, they had a strong finish and beat Southern Miss to get themselves bowl eligible, and Texas A&M looking for a bowl win, and it's not something that the Southern Division of the Big 12 has done a whole lot of. Texas A&M is 0-4 in bowl games since they joined the Big 12. Haywood close to midfield, 9-yard pickup.
Talk about some blocking on the right-hand side of the line for Iowa State, hitting it and getting it. Lorenzo White reported at 360 pounds when he first came to Iowa State. Well, he dropped 20 pounds last year, and he's probably the biggest surprise of this offensive line and this offensive team. They didn't think he could play. He played every down of every game last year, 12 of them including the bowl game, and this year hasn't missed many snaps, and he's probably the biggest surprise of this offense because he's very durable, very powerful at the point of attack.
Haywood again, this time to the 44-yard line. It's a big offensive line. You talked about White. Then you've got the cell block. Marcel Howard, who comes in at 320. Bob Montgomery, the guard, at 310. White at 341.
And then the little piglet in the middle, Zach Butler, he's just a little baby at 290. He needs to get the training table just a little bit more.
And you know, a lot of these guys, as you pointed out, have developed in the program. They didn't come in highly touted. In fact, Howard, who is probably their best offensive lineman, was a walk-on.
That's what you like to see, guys that earn it from the bottom to the top.
Wallace, that's a difficult throw, and he made it nicely. Craig Campbell, the catch at the 34-yard line. Iowa State on the move. Their defense has been doing it all night long. 1 quarter in the books from Shreveport. 3-0 Iowa State.
Sunday NFL Countdown. Sunday mornings at 11 Eastern. Only on ESPN.
Ken Rosewall, 18 Grand Slam championships. Rod Laver, 20 Grand Slam championships. Both are mainstay investors. When you understand the game, you invest your money in mainstay funds.
Airbag patent, 30th anniversary. TeleAid, 2nd anniversary. Safety crumple zones, 50th anniversary. Retractable hardtop, 5th anniversary. Anti-lock brakes, 23rd anniversary. Mercedes, 100th anniversary. 100 years of innovations. Find great values at the Mercedes 100th anniversary event, our anniversary gift to you.
Did you know that the powerful heating medicine in Bengay increases blood flow at the site of application to help ease your aches and pains? Did you also know that Bengay's been scientifically proven to increase range of motion, decrease muscle and arthritis pain, and improve flexibility? And Ultra Strength Bengay has 3 powerful pain-relieving medicines, more than any other leading brand, and that adds up to fast, powerful pain relief. Ultra Strength Bengay, the power you want, the relief you need.
Ooh. Nice shot. Buffalo wings, $1 each.
$1 a wing? Ooh, how much for the whole buffalo?
You know something better for $1?
How about a 20-minute phone call?
Really?
Sure, dial 10-10-220, and all calls up to 20 minutes, 99 cents.
7 cents a minute after 20.
10-10-220 is cheap. Hey, the wings are on me.
Hey, man, quit blocking the play.
Sorry, dude, it's my job.
Hey,
dial 10-10-220.
You practice
hey,
on
man,
me.
you're big leaguing me now.
You know.
It's not hard to get up for days like this. Let me tell you. It's magical.
Right now, all Michelin tires are on sale at America's #1 tire store, Sears. Where else?
Do you like legs? Good, because right now at Red Lobster, a pound of hot, steaming snow crab legs is just $10.99. So walk, run, or crawl to Red Lobster and go overboard.
Mainstay Independence Bowl in Shreveport. Iowa State on top. 3-0. in our ESPN game track. The story of this one so far, opening possession, a nice drive finished by Tony Yelk, and a 36-yard field goal. I think the story, though, has been the defense.
Yes, and another big part is the defense. Penetration, putting pressure on quarterback Andrew Zhao. That's been key to the defense of Iowa State.
On the move, Wallace. A little end around. Danielson inside the 10 to the 1.
Oh.
Lane Danielson on a speed option turned into a reverse. 33 yards on the carry.
It's almost like a play like this. You want to give him the touchdown, but what an outstanding job of disguising his play, blocking on the backside, and watch Lane Danielson make the cut right here. That's phenomenal. And keep his balance. He does go down before the end zone, but look at every defender is keeping their eye on Seneca Wallace. That's what sets this play up. That allows Lane Danielson to get to the outside and make this run towards the goal line. That's an outstanding executed play. When you're going to run a play, as Reese Davis would say, trickeration, that's the way to execute it.
No trickeration here, just straight ahead running with Joe Woodley, the fullback. He thinks he's in. Officials haven't signaled yet. He's in. Touchdown. It took him a while to call it. Only the 6th carry all year for Woodley.
And his 3rd touchdown of the year. That's key. When you've got a guy that can smell the goal line, a fullback that can take the ball to the promised land, that's what you do. He doesn't have to carry it all the time, but when you get inside that 3-yard line, you want to give it to a hoss, and that's Joe Woodley.
Yelk with the extra point. Iowa State said they wanted to come out and smack Alabama right in the mouth. And you know what? They've done just that. The Cyclones lead it 10-0.
Introducing the new long-lasting scent of Bob. Bob showers with new Zest Rainforest Falls. The cleaner rinsing lather leaves Bob feeling fresh and clean long into the day, which makes having Bob around quite pleasant.
Hello.
New Rainforest Falls Zest. You just can't find a better clean.
I couldn't wait to show off my new wheels at the reunion until I told my State Farm agent I really needed it fixed fast, and he mentioned Service First.
When you choose State Farm's Service First claims program, you don't have to get estimates. You go straight to a participating repair center where they guarantee their work. It's as simple as that.
I was looking good again in no time.
Ronnie?
Service First, just one more way. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's a day you won't forget, and a day you've planned for. College Sense, an intelligent way to save for college.
Shreveport, Louisiana. A lot of folks have come from Ames, Iowa, and across Iowa down to this game. They expected about 10,000 folks making that trip. Over 20,000 Alabama fans coming in from Tuscaloosa and parts of Alabama. And the total yardage early on weighs heavily in Iowa State's favor.
A lot of that has to do with two players. NSA, with their running back, and particularly their quarterback, Seneca Wallace. They work so well together. That puts a lot of pressure on any defense.
An interesting alignment for this kick. They could line up any way they want because Yelk basically is going to kick it deep in the end zone, and it will be down for a touchback. Freddie Millins about 7 or 8 yards deep. And in every phase of the football game, offense, defense, special teams, Iowa State looks very good tonight.
And I think a lot of that goes back to what we talked about earlier. When Iowa State came in here, they had the approach that they're serious about this game. They practiced in pads. They got after one another. Alabama didn't. They had few practices wearing full pads. And I think that's taken effect. Emotion only carries so far. When you're in the heat of the battle, you want your players callous. And I think Iowa State right now, they're feeling it. They're feeling good about themselves.
Well, Dan McCarney certainly wanted to set the tone defensively against a very good running team in Alabama. Alabama running for 182 yards per game. Donnie Lowe, the fullback. And as Terry Bowden and Rodney Gilmore pointed out earlier tonight, there have been some big nights against this Iowa State defense by running teams this year.
There definitely has. And 3 of those teams, Kansas State, Colorado, Nebraska, averaged 319 yards on the ground against this game. And he thought that Alabama, their rushing attack was similar to Kansas State,
who went for 343 against Iowa State. Nebraska went for 359. Colorado went for 255. A 2nd and 7. Zhou's throw over the middle, caught at the 40 by Sam Collins. 17 yards on the pickup for Alabama.
When you talk about the improvement of this team, it's not only on the offensive side of the ball, but it's the defensive side of the ball, what they've been able to do. And look at the points. Every year it's gotten better and better, except that one year in 2000. But this year, 21 points a game. They're more of a bend but not break type defense. They'll give up a lot of yards, but not a lot of points.
John Skladany told us he did not want to give up the 25-yard play. He said, we're going to give up first downs, but we just don't want to give up that 25, 30-yard play consistently against Alabama. Santonio Beard to the 46-yard line. And Matt Word and Jeremy Lloyd, the 2 linebackers in on the stop. Lloyd made the first hit.
What the Iowa State defense is able to do is they're able to get that 8th man, the safety Adam Runk, into the box. You want to get 8 in the box. Jeremy Lloyd, the outside back, if they're all playing well, they're letting Alabama get through that first line of defense, the defensive line, but they're able to fill in with the secondary and linebackers.
Alabama has yet to stretch the field yet. Option, Zhou caught from behind. Brandon Brown, another one of those young Cyclones. He's a freshman out of Houston.
Not only Brandon Brown, but Atif Austin on the outside. Brandon Brown takes the quarterback. This is a magnificent job of coming up and taking Andrews out. But on the outside, watch right there. Atif Austin, he's going to take the pitch away. That's why Andrews out has to keep the football. Great cooperation between defenders knowing exactly how to play the option.
Alabama 1 of 4 on 3rd down. This a 3rd and 4. Little screen to Millens. Has the first down. And the playmaker for Alabama to the 38-yard line. Adam Runk made the stop, 16 yards. They must get him the football more often.
Well, this is a slip screen underneath to Freddie Millens. And what happens on this play, when you're a wide receiver, you have to make the first defender miss because you're out there one-on-one against the defense. If you make the first defender miss, right there, you can pick up some yardage, and that's Mark Timmons, a free safety. And what Freddie Millens is able to do, not a real fast guy, but very quick and elusive, and takes the ball down the field.
Millens in motion. And they get it to him on a reverse. Little stop and start, and Millens slips outside. And that's why you want to get him the ball. He doesn't really have the blazing speed, but stopping and starting, he's pretty darn good at that.
And not only that, this play should be over. I mean, this play should be over. Freddie Millens is so quick and makes great decisions with the ball. The career receptions leader at Alabama, but only 6 touchdowns. That's what's astounding.
It's amazing. 152 catches. He's the playmaker. We've just seen on these last 2 plays that he can make people miss. It's amazing that he hasn't been in the end zone more often in what has been a pretty illustrious career at Alabama. Career leader with those 152 catches. Galloway inside the 25 down to the 22-yard line. Rich,
I believe this Iowa State defense came into this game saying, hey, we're going to sell out in this game. One thing we will do is we will stop the run. From that, they're going to run blitz early, first down, second down. They're going to make sure, hey, if they're beating this game, and this is a pretty good game plan, that they're going to have to do it through the air. They're going to put pressure on Andrews Zhao to do it through the air. So far, they've done a great job of taking away the bread and butter, that slam play by Alabama between the guards, and also the option on the outside. They played the option very well against Andrews Zhao.
Millen's in motion. Zhao will hit him. And he's got a blocker this time inside the 15 to the 14. Jason McCadley with the block to spring Millens for a 9-yard pickup and an Alabama first down.
Now, Alabama has found something that they can go after Iowa State's defense with. The first quarter, 53 yards. This drive alone, they put something together. They finally feel a rhythm. I think that rhythm is to get the ball to the outside as fast as we can to Freddie Millens. If you've got to put him in motion, you've got to run a little slip screen, get the ball in his hands, let him do what he does best, breaks tackles.
3 touches in the last 4 snaps for Millens. Beard inside the 10 to the 8. Mark Timmons made the stop, the sophomore safety.
And Justin Eilers just blew through the hole and missed Santonio Beard. It was a nice move by Santonio Beard, but I talked about this defense selling out. I mean, they're just throwing caution to the wind. They're running through gaps. They don't care. Their responsibility is run through the A gap. They're in the A gap. They're making sure that if they're getting beat on a drive or a long run, it's not their responsibility. It's because Alabama did a nice job of executing that play.
2nd and 4. Option. Zhao keeps it. Touchdown. Flag down, maybe a late hit after the score. One of the reasons Andrew Zhao did not start this season or play through most of the season was because they felt Tyler Watts was better at running the option. And Zhao scores on an option run. With the kick, Alabama can draw within 3.
And the way that he scored on this option, a tremendous job at the point of the attack of collapsing the defensive front of the Iowa State football team. And it's just smart on the play that he fakes the pitch and then turns the corner. That's just leadership. That's senior leadership of being in an offense and studying the playbook, staying with your offense.
It was a late hit. It will be marched off here on the point, so the kick will come from a 1.5 yards closer. And the kick is good. Andrew Zhao was the spark that sent Alabama to this bowl game. And he's in the end zone for the Crimson Tide.
Shreveport, Louisiana. The business, medical, cultural, sports, and entertainment capital of an entire 3-state region. One of the fastest growing tourist destinations in America. It is a diverse city of gracious Southern charm and dynamic progressive leadership. A people proud of the past and optimistic about the future. A city of family, faith, and freedom. Shreveport, Louisiana. It's something special.
Change the face of digital photography with the Intel Pentium 4 processor, the center of your digital world.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks for all your help.
It's my job.
Wow.
Honey, can we start now?
Yes. Yes, we can.
We know how you feel, and that's why we're here. Circuit City. We're with you.
Sweetie.
Yeah, just put that anywhere.
ABC's New Year celebration continues when Florida battles ACC champ Maryland. The FedEx Orange Bowl. Wednesday night at 8, 5 Pacific on ABC.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2001 Mainstay Independence Bowl is brought to you by Sonic, America's drive-in. and by Dodge. To get anywhere, you've got to grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Rich Waltz, Mark May, Heather Cox in Shreveport, Louisiana. Just when we talked about Iowa State's defense, Alabama marches 80 yards. Andrew Zhao finishes it from 8 yards out. Andrew Mosier across the 25 to the 27.
Run by Andrew Zhao. Watch the right side of the line, including the tight end. It gets an outstanding block to seal here. That tight end is Terry Jones on the outside. All these players are working in unison, hand to hand, foot to foot. Get your blocks, knock them down, and that's an easy touchdown run for quarterback Andrew Zhao. Excellent blocking at the point of attack.
So both teams have been in the end zone. There's your drive. Millen's had 3 touches on the drive, totaling 36 yards. A couple catches and a run on the reverse. And Seneca Wallace back to work. Fires that one. A nice catch at the 36-yard line for a first down for Iowa State. Craig Campbell, the senior.
And Craig Campbell's his go-to man in the offense. Here's a nice job of fighting the defender and turning for the ball. But what's really impressive about this play, Seneca Wallace stepping left and throwing right across the grain. That's Santonio Beard, the running back for Alabama. It's an outstanding game. His last time when he played in a game before this bowl game, 199 yards. Rich.
Yeah, he's a big man on campus. Anytime you have a big game against Auburn,
that's huge.
For 365 days, you're a big man on campus. Seneca Wallace does not like what he sees, and he'll call a timeout. And he's on his way to the sideline. Iowa State a 10-7 lead over Alabama in the mainstay Independence Bowl.
Don't miss live soccer action from the English FA Cup, kicking off in January 2002. Watch all the English soccer greats clash in this battle for the coveted title. Stay tuned for further transmission details. Live on Direct Ticket Pay-Per-View on Direct TV.
All-out action, all season long. The greatest rivalries from the nation's top conferences. Order ESPN Full Court from DirecTV for just $99, and you're automatically entered in the DirecTV ESPN Championship Sweepstakes. Grand prize is a trip for 2 to the 2002 Big East Men's Basketball Championship in New York City. Follow the championship drive. ESPN Full Court from DirecTV.
Friday in the Music City Bowl, BC star running back William Green and the Eagles take on David Green and Georgia. Boston College, Georgia, the Music City Bowl, 5 o'clock Friday on ESPN.
Winter X Games 6 in Aspen begins February 1st on ESPN.
10-7, Iowa State on top of Alabama. They say that Alabama is back in a bowl. You know, they weren't that far removed from a bowl game. 2 years ago, they went to the Orange Bowl. But, of course, last year, just a miserable year. They lost their coach in mid-season. Dennis Franchione in his first year. Comes in at 6-5. Wallace, play action. Lots of time. On the money, but dropped by Campbell. His go-to guy owes him one.
He definitely does after that play. That was a great job of first pass protection. Seneca Wallace setting this play up, but Craig Campbell has to catch this ball. Here it is, a play-action pass. He's looking left all the way, Seneca Wallace, and the ball is exactly where it needs, right in your hands. Catch it, catch it. He needs to look the ball in, and Seneca Wallace, he knows he had it. He had a big play there, had his receiver where he wanted, his go-to guy, put the ball where it needed to be, but Craig Campbell just couldn't come down with the catch.
He'll go back to him. On 2nd and 10. Draw play to Hayward. And he's tripped up for a loss of maybe 1. Jarrett Johnson, who had a marvelous season in the SEC, first team All-SEC pick.
For Jarrett Johnson, it's just penetration in the backfield. Shed the blocker in front of you and get to the backfield. Here he tackles him in the backfield by the ankles. That's a great play by a 275-pound defensive tackle. One, pursuing the quarterback and getting to the quarterback, and now stopping him in the backfield. Here, Alabama's rush defense, 4 opponents under 100 yards this year. Some of those are pretty good rush teams.
And this is a very good defense. They only have 2 seniors. They'll be good next year as well. 3rd and 11. Wallace flushed out. Dumps it off. Caught by Haywood at the 44, but he's going to be short of the first down. Salim Rashid on the stop.
And that's a nice open field tackle by Cornelius Wortham and Rashid on the play. On a play like that, when you see the big fella, Ennis Haywood, come out of the backfield, you know when your quarterback's in trouble, he's going to look short first. And Ennis Haywood was right there, but both linebackers knew that underneath coverage, if that ball's dumped off, you've got to make the tackle, and they did.
So Tony Yelk is back on. He's had a couple of punts. He boomed a 53-yarder. His last one was a 41-yarder, and it was downed at the 1. Freddie Millens waiting at the 15. A line drive headed towards the sidelines, and again a nice kick by this redshirt freshman. Let's check in with Heather Cox. Heather?
Thanks, Rich. I'm joined by Brian Lee, President and CEO of Mainstay. Now, Brian, since September 11th, there's been a huge resurgence in patriotism and American spirit. Because of that, what does it mean to have your name involved with the Independence Bowl?
Well, particularly because of the Independence Bowl. As we've seen America's spirit rise after September 11th, the connection between our firm and the Independence Bowl has been particularly meaningful to us.
Now, you're a New York-based company. What got you involved in a bowl game here in Shreveport?
In Shreveport, of all places, right? Well, let me tell you, Shreveport's one of the greatest cities that I've ever visited. They have such enormous respect for this bowl and the loyalty and the support here in the community to the Independence Bowl. We selected this particular bowl because it was able to take our mutual fund line, the Mainstay fund line, and put it in front of the national audience in a very positive way connected to the Independence Bowl. So we're very excited and very honored to be a part of it.
All right, Brian, thanks so much. We'll let you enjoy from the best seat in the house. Rich, back to you.
Thanks, Heather. He's got to be happy. He's got almost a full house. And a good ball game so far with 6.5 minutes left first half. Andrew Zhao on the option to the 21-yard line. And he's got another Alabama first down. It was a drive like this that started from the 1. Zhao, his last time with an 8-yard touchdown on the option.
I think when you look at Alabama, what they're able to accomplish that last drive is Andrew Zhao was able to manage his offense. And I think what they got is they got their confidence back, their swagger back in that last drive. And that's why it looks like they have that confidence in this drive that, hey, we're going to run the ball. Against this defense, we can, and we'll have success.
Galloway the carry. The fact that Zhao was able to come in out of the bullpen, so to speak, and play so well speaks volumes not only about Zhao, but about Dennis Franchione, because he managed a 2-quarterback situation. Watts was his starter. Zhao had been the starter for almost 3 years, and both of those quarterbacks bought into the system.
Not only that, and I think the smart approach was he made both of them captains. And I think that's key. When you make both those guys captains, there's no controversy on your team. And both of these 2 players, Tyler Watts and Andrew Zhao, they like each other. They're almost best friends.
On 2nd and 8, Galloway to the 28-yard line. We might see Tyler Watts tonight. Watts, of course, had the groin injury. And with 2 games left in the season, Zhao became the starter. Zhao relieved Watts in the big win over Mississippi State, and then went out and beat Auburn 31-7, then beat Southern Miss. There's a look at Watts. They say the groin is okay, but not 100%. Zhao on the option, close to the first down. Depending on where they mark it, he had to get to the 31.
That was a very nice job of Andrew Zhao reading the defense. He saw the red jerseys coming after him of Iowa State. A lot of penetration in the backfield to take the ball, tuck it up, and attempt for the first down. That's a great job. He could have easily pitched that ball, seeing all the other the off-color jerseys, the opponent's jerseys, but he kept the ball and turned it up.
And that play right there, that option again, is the reason that Dennis Franchione went with Watts originally at the start of the season. He wanted that speed option in his offense.
And the shotgun snap, and it's a little high to his right when he's going to the left, and the quarterback can't have that, but that's one heck of an adjustment by Andrew Zhao. When he wants to go left and you know he's going left mentally, and the ball snapped to his right, but that's a great adjustment of concentrating on the ball and the play and turning it into a first down.
From the 31, Santonio Beard to the 37-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup. Alabama was 3-5 at that juncture when Watts got hurt, but they were a pretty good 3-5, Mark. They had some games, some close games that they lost. There were games in their schedule. The UCLA game was tight. South Carolina, they lost by a point. Ole Miss came back and beat them by 3.
In Tennessee, they had the lead in the fourth quarter and lost that game. They just have to learn to become better finishers. But this is a young football team.
Zhao wants to throw it, tries to get it deep, and it's intercepted. Adam Runk, his 5th pick of the season.
What happens on this play for Andrew Zhao? He throws it into double coverage. And that's what cost Alabama the interception on that play.
Iowa State will have it when we get back.
Ken Rosewall, 18 Grand Slam championships. Rod Laver, 20 Grand Slam championships. Both are mainstay investors. When you understand the game, you invest your money in mainstay funds.
The bow. Resistance becomes strength. Becomes power. The power to change and reshape your entire body. This is Bowflex, an entire gym-in-one easy-to-use machine. So powerful, it delivers over 60 health club quality exercises with up to 410 pounds of resistance in any room in your home. Strength training with Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. One simple workout. 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week. Bowflex is real. The results are real. And you can own one with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Call right now for a free video and brochure. Bowflex, the power is yours.
Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana, Shreveport, Bossier City. We wish everyone deployed a very happy holidays. Keep up the fight. We miss you. Hope to see you soon. Happy holidays!
And if there's a region, an area that's affected more than any other, it's this one by everything that's going on in Afghanistan. Barksdale Air Force Base has 900 deployed. And the B-52s, most of them come out of right here. Shreveport, Bossier City, Haywood busts loose to the 34-yard line. 43 yards of the carry.
And the big fella at the end of this run looked like he was getting just a little bit tired, but great blocking at the point of attack in the middle of the line. And what is great about this play, the offensive line right in here, they stay with their blocks. Keep an eye on it. A little quick trap play, but watch Ennis Haywood. He's going to pick through it, muddle through it. The offensive line stays with their blocks. He stays on his feet, takes the ball down the field to play. But right here, here comes the piano on his back. He's caught from behind by Herschel Bolden.
Wallace, a quick drop, delivers a strike to Jack Whitver, and Whitver goes flying into the Alabama band. Another first down for Iowa State. Cyclones on the move, a 10-7 lead, with a little over 2.5 left, first half here in Shreveport.
I'll tell you, I'm impressed by both of these football teams. The fight with both of these football teams. Each team wants this game desperately. What Iowa State's been able to do, running the ball, throwing the ball, their offensive coordinator, Steve Loney's done a magnificent job of putting together a great game plan for this game and the entire season. What Iowa State does, they run the ball as well as anything.
They'll run it here with Jermaine Billups to the 17-yard line. Let's check in with Heather Cox.
Well, Rich, all season long, the front seven has been a strength for this Alabama defense. But right now, the emphasis from the defensive coaches is on tackling. They said belt buckle tackling is what we want right now. Don't look at anything else but the O-line's belt buckle. We're all right. We're into our game right now. Patience is what he's asking for.
When I played, I wish the opposition looked at my belt buckle. Then they weren't looking at the running back in the backfield. But that's just some terminology that you use as a defensive coordinator to get your guys to focus and stay low.
Haywood again. You were one of the few offensive linemen where they could see your belt buckle.
I knew you were coming with that.
On that line, which was obviously dubbed the Hogs. Sorry.
I knew that was coming. I should have felt that one. But a couple of these linemen, I don't know if they've seen their belt buckles on their toes for a while. The 320, the big cell block over there, has done a great job at left tackle. Lorenzo White, 341. And I like the weights. It's 341. It's almost like, gee, you're a Diet Coke away from 360 if we really put you on the scale. But you've gotten it down to the 340.
Hey, man, every one of those pounds he dropped was not easy.
Oh, believe me, when I was 299.5, I was under 300.
Wallace on the money again. Was it caught? It was. Lane Danielson very close to the first down. I'm real impressed with Seneca Wallace. We focus so much on his mobility and running the option and his escapability. He looks very comfortable in the pocket as well.
He does, and I'll tell you what, you look at what Dan McCartney's caught. He's caught lightning in a bottle with his quarterback. I mean, you don't get a junior college quarterback to come in the first year and perform as well as Seneca Wallace has been able to perform for this offense.
Got the first down.
And Rich, I think the key was he said, hey, we knew spring practice that we had something. We weren't sure. But then going back, the one big game against Nebraska.
Yeah, they were down early, and Wallace led them on 2 long touchdown drives. Spring practice, I think, is a key there as well. He went from junior college and had his grades in order, enrolled early at Iowa State, went through spring ball. And obviously it's paid off. First and 10 from the 11. Wallace, swing pass. Danielson to the 7. Gain of maybe 3, and Iowa State's going to call a timeout. You can see the clock down to 38. 1 left for Iowa State. Dan McCartney has always had great running backs here at Iowa State. A real legacy. You got Troy Davis, who finished up in '96. Little brother, not by much, Darren Davis through '99, and Ennis Haywood, the current holder. And all of them are kind of built the same way.
They're short, they're stocky, they're powerful, they hit the hole. But look at these yards, 2,000 back-to-back, 2,000-yard seasons for Troy Davis. And Darren Davis, 3 1,000-yard seasons. Ennis Haywood, back-to-back 1,000-yard season. And if you add all that yardage up, that's 2 miles of running backs running for first downs and touchdowns in the Iowa State offense.
The biggest difference, of course, is the fact that during the Davis's tenure, Iowa State did not go to a bowl game. They had great running attacks. They didn't have great defenses. And until Sage Rosenfels really stepped in, they didn't have a tremendous quarterback play. And the administration stuck with Dan McCartney, who went 3-8, 2-9, 1-10, 3-8, 4-7 before getting to the Insight.com Bowl last year.
I think that's a tribute to the administration of Iowa State of staying with a coach and his philosophies and his program.
Second down. Wallace, end zone, had his man, and he overthrew him. Jamal Montgomery, the intended receiver. Let's check in with Chris Fowler. Chris?
Rich, the Dodge halftime report, concerns in the Maryland camp about their best running back for the Orange Bowl game. Highlights of Georgia Tech's impressive showing in Seattle and a preview of the Aggies and the Horned Frogs tomorrow. Rod Gilmore, Terry Bowden join me at the half.
Yeah, the Aggies don't have to play in the snow like they did last year in this one. They're inside against TCU, Dennis Franchioni's old team. Franchioni, of course, left TCU, and Gary Patterson coached their bowl game last year. Patterson did a fine job this year. Third down. And 7. Wallace deflected. Kendall Moorhead, the junior defensive end. That's a 293-pound man making that play.
Now that's some hops right there. That's going vertical for the big guy, and that's dropping off a little bit. He couldn't get to the quarterback. But defensive line, we were talking, if you can't get to the quarterback, drop off, get those big paws up in the air and try to knock the ball down and take away the passing lanes. That's exactly what Kendall Moorhead was able to do.
And here's Tony Yelk again, kid out of Wisconsin, Arlington, Wisconsin. Hit from 36, this from 25. Not going to do it. No points for Iowa State, still on top, 10-7.
My father was a sports broadcaster, so I spent many Saturdays thinking about what an experience it might be having an opportunity one day to maybe run out a tunnel. I was 19 years old and I had that opportunity. There were 100,000 people in the stands. And as we came through that tunnel, it started to pack up in front of me, and pretty soon it got kind of congested. You couldn't really understand why things weren't just sprinting out onto the field. It's our head coach, Pepper Rogers, doing somersaults right in the middle of the grass. He liked to say that's when he knew his team was ready.
In all the world, only one university can call itself the birthplace.
Alabama's going to keep it on the ground, and Mike Galloway trying to run the clock out here in the second quarter, as Iowa State has just missed a 25-yard field goal. Dan McCarty has to be happy with the way his team has played, though he was obviously displeased they missed that opportunity, first for the 7 points and then for the 3 points. Trying to win back-to-back bowl games for the first time in Iowa State history. And the Cyclones will head to the locker room with a 10-7 halftime lead in the Mainstay Independence Bowl. Halftime has arrived in Shreveport. Back to the studios, Chris Fowler.
Rich, thank you. I was about to praise Tony Yelk for good pooch punting, field goal kicking. You've been a weakness all year. Goes ahead and misses the chip shot, so the margin is 3 for Iowa State. Welcome to our College Game Day halftime report presented by Dodge. Now to news from the Orange Bowl. And Maryland may be without Bruce Perry, their top running back. It's an abdominal injury that he re-aggravated in practice on Thursday. His status still unknown, but Perry obviously would be a huge loss for the Terrapins. He's the major part of a very good ground game. You see 219 carries. Mark Riley, the next busiest back with 85. Sean Hill is the quarterback. He does a lot of running, but obviously with Perry and any attempt at a balanced offense, he is so critical as they take on a heavy favorite in Florida.
Well, if he can't go, they have a real problem because his versatility is a key to their offense. Ralph Friedgen does a great job of getting him the ball in space with the option. They run him inside. They screen the ball out to him. If he can't go, it's going to be real tough for that Maryland offense to keep the Florida offense off the field, and that could be a problem, Coach.
And Rob, we're not sure if he's out of this game. Right. Even if he goes, even if he's 100%, of all the BCS games, I see this as the biggest mismatch. Florida State, the most talented team that Maryland played, scored 51 points against this team, and Florida has a lot better passing attack than Florida State.
And there's more bad injury news. You're right. Todd Wyke, a guard for Maryland, had his ankle stepped on in practice. His status also unknown. We're going to come back. We'll have highlights of that game out in Seattle as Georgia Tech beat up on Stanford. Cyclones lead by 3 down in Shreveport.
Sidelines. Tonight at midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific on ESPN.
Day 15, just 900 feet from the summit.
Day 15.
Where's he going?
Oh, hey, guys. Just gonna mail my credit card payment.
You mean you don't have a Capital One no-hassle card?
Want a choice of payment dates? Try Capital One's no-hassle card. Plus, get the nation's lowest long-term fixed rates and no telemarketing.
What's in your wallet?
Carrot Top here for 1-800-CALL-ATT. You don't have to be a great athlete like me to make it to the NBA All-Star Weekend. Because the more times you use 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls, the more chances you have to enter and win a trip for two to the 2002 NBA All-Star Weekend. 8 winners will be paired up with 8 NBA three-point shootout contestants. If your NBA partner wins the shootout, you win $50,000. It's easy. Just dial down the center with 1-800-CALLATT.
Nice shorts, Carrot Strap.
Is that trash talk, huh?
This halftime report is presented by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Iowa State on top of Alabama at halftime. Welcome back to our College Game Day halftime report presented by Dodge. Earlier, inaugural Seattle Bowl, a Stanford team that professed to be motivated, hungry to get to that 10-win plateau, took on a Georgia Tech team minus their top rusher in Joe Burns, academically ineligible, minus, of course, head coach George O'Leary, with interim coach Mac McWhorter having to hear all the rumors that Chan Gailey is about to become the new head coach at Georgia Tech. Motivation, it had to be a question mark going into the long road trip to Seattle. Questions answered. The Jackets under McWhorter, who's the offensive line coach, came out, played very well, coached very well, and Stanford, although they marched the ball, had trouble when they got down close. Here's Fasani pitching up to Kerry Carter, gets down to the 5. So far, so good. Then, Rod, the play calling down the goal line. They try to muscle the ball in.
Well, power running. Kerry Carter inside, down to the 1-yard line. Second ago, you start thinking, okay, where's Teo Johnson? No, Brian Allen gets nothing. And then Allen again on 3rd and goal. Nothing. 4th down comes up. What do you do, Teo Johnson? No. Kerry Carter gets stuffed again by Darryl Smith. Stanford gets no points out of it, Chris.
And that began to set the tone for the Jackets. They led 7-3 when George Godsey goes to Kelly Campbell. Nice throw. He almost dropped it, but a 34-yard touchdown. It was 17-3 at halftime. Chris Lewis replaces Fasani and sparks the Cardinals. Ryan Wells will catch the 2-point conversion. Here's Teo Johnson, though, making the touch. That's what you called for earlier. You can't cover the 6'7" basketball player. And Wells in the back of the end zone. All of a sudden, it's a 3-point game, momentum for the Cardinal. But they got the ball after that twice more, couldn't move it, and Georgia Tech seals it right here. Campbell gets in there in a little reverse, and Georgia Tech with McWhorter as the interim head coach, getting the game ball from his senior quarterback, who plays his final game for the Jackets. 24-14, Georgia Tech. Disappointing loss for Stanford. 14 points is their lowest output of the year. And Sean Gregory rushing for 91 yards on 19 carries, filling in for Burns. After the game, Michelle talked to the coach McWhorter.
Well, Coach, coming into this game, you said you liked your athletic matchups, and you dominated the first half. Stanford made a run in the second. Both sides of the ball really came up big to take this thing over late.
I'm really proud of our kids. I tell you, we've been in this situation so many times this year and didn't come up and finish the job. And I'm just so proud of them playing as hard as they did to get it finished at the end. And I can't say enough about the character of our football team.
Well, the Jackets respond, and McWhorter continues a recent trend of interim head coaches, guys who have taken over when the head coach moves on or come on to take over a new program. In the case of Cutcliffe and Chris Selfo at Tulane in 1998. For whatever reason, the players really responded on the Tech side, and Stanford really didn't. Kind of a flat effort.
Yeah, kind of a flat effort by Stanford, but you really have to take your hat off to what Georgia Tech did. Their players did a fantastic job. They clearly played their hearts out for McWhorter. They felt good about him, but I think in the end you're going to find that Chan Gailey is going to become the head coach there, sort of following the Sun Tzu motto in The Art of War. If you go outside to find your new leader, you don't pick from within, Coach.
Well, maybe he'll pick some assistants from within, because when you win, you're supposed to give credit to the players, but I think the assistant coaches at Georgia Tech, they were full of distractions. They lost their head coach. They lost their running back, Joe Burns. Their uncertainty. They don't know whether they should prepare for this game. Should they look for a job? being able to keep those players focused was incredible, I believe.
And coming off losses to Georgia and to Florida State, two of their biggest rivals to end the season. That was a nice job regrouping. 5 bowl games so far. Underdogs have won 4 of them. And Iowa State leads Alabama at halftime, by the way, by a field goal. We'll come back and preview one of the games tomorrow involving a Big 12 team, and we continue in the Dodge Halftime Report.
Always thinking something terrible is going to happen. I can't handle it.
You know, your worst fears, the what ifs, and I can't control it, and I'm always worrying about everything.
It's like a tape in my mind. It just goes over and over and over. I just thought that I was a worrier.
It's like I never get a chance to relax. At work, I'm tense about stuff at home. At home, I'm tense about stuff at work.
If you're one of the millions of people who live with uncontrollable worry, anxiety, and several of these symptoms for 6 months or more, you could be suffering from generalized anxiety disorder, and a chemical imbalance could be to blame. Paxil works to correct this imbalance to relieve anxiety. Prescription Paxil is not for everyone. Tell your doctor what medicines you're taking. People taking MAOIs or thiaridazine should not take Paxil. Side effects may include decreased appetite, dry mouth, sweating, nausea, constipation, sexual side effects, tremor, fatigue, or sleepiness. Paxil is non-habit forming.
I'm not bogged down by worry anymore. I feel like me again. I feel like myself.
And welcome back to our Dodge Halftime Report. Tomorrow, the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl down in Houston involving a couple of old Southwest Conference rivals, TCU and Texas A&M. 23 straight wins for the Aggies in this series, something that's not lost on the TCU players. Aggies, though, have to regroup. They lost 4 out of the last 6, really couldn't get the offense going in the latter part of the season. For a preview now, down to Mark Malone and Coach John Cooper.
The proud tradition of football in Houston will have a new home in 2002, the Reliant Stadium, home of the new Houston Texans. Of course, it dwarfs the former 8th wonder of the world, the Houston Astrodome, our venue for the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl on Friday between TCU and Texas A&M. Joining me, my broadcast partner, Coach John Cooper. And, Coach, this is a game between a couple of old Southwest Conference rivals, and TCU has had the worst of it, losing 23 straight against the Aggies.
TCU is a very good defensive football team, though, Mark. They're going to get off the bus blitzing. LaMarcus McDonald, the inside linebacker, is going to blitz almost every play. He has 24.5 tackles for a loss so far this year. They held Louisville to minus 47 yards rushing, so A&M better be ready.
TCU on the other side of the football has a quarterback in Casey Printers who's really come into his own the last 4 ball games, averaging nearly 290 yards passing per game.
And he's a very good athletic quarterback. He's going to run the option. A&M has faced some option football teams, but I don't know if they faced an athletic quarterback like they're facing tomorrow afternoon.
GalleryFurniture.com Bowl, TCU and Texas A&M. We hope you'll join us.
Mark, thank you. John's right. This is a pretty good TCU defensive team. Just ask Nebraska. A&M's offense, meanwhile, last 3 games. 1 offensive touchdown. They have the worst points per game output since 1983. Can they get it going? Their quarterbacks have also been kind of nicked up with Ferris, but he should be okay.
Yeah, you know, they've struggled this year really because they had so many injuries on offense, and they only scored the 28 touchdowns all season long. That's a problem. But listen to this. They only have 2 senior starters among their top 22 offensive players. I think in this ball game, you're going to see a preview of next year. 4 of their freshman starters and 1 sophomore contributed more of their offensive yardage. They're no longer freshmen. They're no longer sophomores. They've had a full season. They've had bowl practices. I think you're going to see a different Texas A&M offense, a more confident group of players. I think they have a chance to move the ball a little bit in this ball game.
Yeah, Rod, but I think they're worried about Texas A&M's defense. TCU has to find a way to move this ball against the wrecking crew. They brought that good, strong defense back. Quarterback Casey Printers is the guy that has to lead the charge. He has to play a good game. But TCU won their last 2 games. They come in here pumped up. They wanted to be here. They didn't slide into this game like Texas A&M. They're going to want this game.
Oh, yeah, especially when you consider that 23-game losing streak. I mean, that's in the lifetime of these guys. And a lot of those games haven't even been close, especially the games in the 80s. So we'll see if TCU can get it done, or will Texas A&M kind of regroup and try to reverse their fortunes for the second half of the season. GalleryFurniture.com Bowl tomorrow on ESPN. More at halftime. The Cyclones leading the Tide by a field goal.
Britney Spears or NSYNC got their moves? Here's your chance to get the inside look at how it's done. With Darren's Dance Crews, the new video that breaks down the moves and shows you how to do them step by step.
We step back on our right leg and then move forward.
He is definitely the best choreographer of all time.
His unique street-style dance steps have been featured in music videos, award shows, and concerts seen around the world.
Dancing's all about having fun. Now you can get down with my new video. Ain't no lie.
Now these fresh moves are available for you to learn on Darren's Dance Crews. Plus, Darren will show you his brand new pop and lock routine.
I break it down so you can learn the dances at your own speed.
When you're watching this choreography, you just want to get up and do it with them.
Darren's Dance Crews is not sold in any store.
This is going to be the hottest video you've ever seen.
To order, call the number on your screen or log on to MusicSpace.com. Must be 18 or older to call or log on.
In all the world, only one university can call itself the birthplace of the computer. Today, it's home to the nation's first six-sided virtual reality theater. It's second in technology innovations, has one of the most wired campuses, as well as one of the 3 most beautiful. Iowa State University, a source of achievement, innovation, and inspiration, helping people become their best.
We continue on the Dodge Halftime Report with an invitation to join us tomorrow. It's Verge Friday on Capital One Bowl Week. A&M TCU at 1:30. Follows another one of our College Game Day specials at 1 o'clock. BC, Georgia at 5 o'clock. And on the Culligan Holiday Bowl, Texas and Washington in primetime. Good Big 12 Pac-10 matchup. Now, you want to go into ESPN.com while you watch the game because Dick Tomey will be kind of predicting and calling plays for Texas. Jim Donnan hanging out with the Washington coaching staff, breaking down their game plan. So log on, see how the coaches do calling plays, and you can vote in polls and read some player diaries and plenty on the history of those programs involved in that Holiday Bowl, which is an attractive matchup. Of course, the news for Texas is the quarterback change. Major Applewhite in his final college game back as starter for the Longhorns. Cody Pickett for Washington. He's played hurt much of this season. Holiday Bowl in the old days, always a high-scoring offensive show. It could be again, Rod, because you got some future NFL wide receivers. A lot of talent on the edge in this game.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. We've talked all season long about the trend towards big receivers, big, exciting players. We have that in this ball game. Roy Williams for Texas, a big receiver, about 6'4", can make plays down the field. Washington has Reggie Williams, a freshman receiver who's a big-time player, also about 6'4", 6'5", or so. We're talking about guys who are going to play in the NFL. They're going to put on a great show tomorrow night. I think it's really worth watching, and look for the big receivers to step up.
Well, Rod, everybody's talking about Major Applewhite being the story here. He's going to play, but I think the story is Cedric Benson. Will he be 100% healthy? Will he be ready to play? He had 5 straight 100-yard rushing games in the second half of the season, and when he's in there, they have bounce, takes pressure off the quarterback. If he can't play, Major Applewhite better throw it 40, 45 times and have a hot night.
Sounds like Benson, a typical holiday game.
Yeah, Benson with the pinched nerve is a game-time decision. You're right, that is very crucial. Major says, even though he's returning as a starter and wants to prove a point and make a nice show, he's going to be mature enough not to try to press and force things, and that's key for Texas. We don't want a quarterback out there trying to prove a point in a bowl game. You got to play mature, and he says he will. That's tomorrow on ESPN, the Culligan Holiday Bowl. Ennis Haywood, one of the offensive stories for the Cyclones, 67 yards rushing. They lead by 3. Second half coming up shortly.
Bold, powerful, and a great way to get to work. Dodge.
Hey, boys, what y'all doing?
Just out here checking these old fences.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, is that $1?
Yeah, it's on my side of the fence.
Wrong. That's on my side.
No, that's on my side.
It is on my side.
Guys, it's just $1. Oh, yeah, with 10, 10, 220, all calls up to 20 minutes or 99 cents.
20 minutes for 99 cents?
And 7 cents a minute after 20.
Wow, that's cheap.
Guess he had to make a phone call. Call me.
Dial 1010-220.
Since
Since I was a small child, it has been my dream to dance. I wanted to study with the very best.
Someone who would push me to be my very best.
And dance in everything that I do.
The University of Alabama congratulates Cornelius Carter of our College of Arts and Sciences, the Carnegie Foundation U.S. Professor of the Year.
Some baseball news. The money part of the deal has finally been worked out, so the Mets will make it official. They have acquired Mo Vaughn from Anaheim for pitcher Kevin Appier. Mets trying to accumulate some offense finally. Had to work out the money part of Vaughn's hefty contract. They apparently have done that, and they'll very shortly make it official with a news conference with Mo Vaughn headed to the Mets for Kevin Appier. SportsCenter will have more on that later on tonight. Texas A&M and TCU, another reminder, that game kicks off a triple header at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon Eastern time following our College Game Day preview show at 1 o'clock. The second half is coming up. Alabama will get the football back. Andrew Zhao with an 8-yard run has the margin at 3. Gets you back to Shreveport after this.
As a goalie, I have to be focused. I have to be ready.
You think about what they're going to do and how they're going to react. It's a lot of visualizing how you're going to beat them.
I try to intimidate the other guy. When I'm on my game, I'm really tough to beat.
Every little thing you do can mean the outcome of the game.
NHL Center Ice from DirecTV. Get up to 35 games a week, plus select first and second round Stanley Cup playoff action.
Start the weekend in a new way with Blockbuster Ticket only on DirecTV. Enjoy new pay-per-view movies every Friday night.
Girls, I'm going to Harvard.
And law school will never be the same. Go blonde with Reese Witherspoon. Legally Blonde. Start the weekend right with Blockbuster Ticket only on DirecTV. Tune to the 100s and order with your remote.
Growing up, all we wanted to do was play. But as the world opened up to us, it became easier to get sidetracked. And just one single bet, one simple step can blow not only your education, but a chance to compete in the sport that we love.
They watch from the stands while their money changes hands.
The only thing worth betting on is ourselves.
Don't cross that line.
Halftime in Shreveport. Iowa State a 10-7 lead. A real treat at halftime. The singing policeman, Daniel Rodriguez with God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
The fighting men and women of Barksdale Air Force Base here in the Shreveport, Bossier City area brought Rodriguez in, and that flag that they just raised has gone over to Afghanistan with many of the B-52 missions that have come out of Barksdale. They brought the flag back just for the Independence Bowl.
And that was astounding. It was a very emotional time, and the fans loved it here, and it was a great job of singing. And it was just one of those experiences you have to be at, but I'm glad I was here to enjoy it.
Both teams, as they came out of their locker room, sort of stopped and listened to that. All right, let's get back to some football, Mark May, and let's talk about this football game. Iowa State started quickly, and it looked like Alabama recovered. As we look at our game tracks, on the ground, both of these teams have been successful. Ennis Haywood for Iowa State, seen here ripping off this run. He had 67. Ahmad Galloway had 67. Both teams balanced.
And Andrew Zhao, the quarterback for Alabama, tried to force this ball into double coverage, and Adam Ruck intercepts it, but the defense from Alabama State, pressure on quarterback Zhao, 2 sacks.
Yes, Andrew Zhao, option run. That's Alabama's lone score. Alabama gets the football. Zhao has gone the distance, and here's Galloway to the 27-yard line, a 7-yard pickup. Galloway has been the more effective of the two tailback system that Alabama uses. Santonio Beard has been the other one. We haven't seen Tyler Watts yet, Mark May. Do you think we will?
I don't think so. I think with that pulled groin muscle, I think you're looking at a situation where Dennis Franchione doesn't want to risk him pulling it or tearing it because spring ball's just around the corner.
Watts is a junior, Zhao a senior. Zhao on the option. Quick pitch to Galloway. And he stopped at the 28-yard line. Mark Timmons and Matt Word on the stop.
Rich, I'm almost surprised that we haven't seen a little bit more of Santonio Beard, particularly on first and second down. He only has 5 rushing attempts for 24 yards in the first half. He's really their big breakaway threat, and he's their gamer on the outside of their running game. So they need to get him in the mix, and I think in the mix earlier in the second half than they did in the first half.
Remember, Iowa State was stopped at the 11-yard line, final moments of the first half, and they missed a 25-yard field goal. So this could easily be a 17-7 or a 13-7 game. Zhao's pitch, and there's Beard, and there's your first down to the 33-yard line. Let's check in with Heather Cox.
Rich, I had a chance to catch up with Dennis Franchione of Alabama, and he said, hey, we had a very long field to work with in the first half thanks to some good Iowa State punts. I'm pretty satisfied with our offense. In terms of stopping Seneca Wallace, he said, hey, we stopped him on the run, not on the pass. And then I asked him if we might see Tyler Watts, and he said he would. So, Mark, a big surprise. We might see Watts here in the second half.
Good work, Heather.
Yeah, I think that adds to their offense because he's a better runner with the football than Andrew Zhao.
There's Beard straight ahead across the 40 to the 42-yard line. That's an 8-yard pickup. Beard had that big game against Auburn. He went for 141 against Tennessee, and there's a look at Watts.
Stretching it out on the sidelines. And I think the difference between both of those backs, Ahmad Galloway and Santonio Beard, also, Beard has that explosiveness. When he hits the hole, he hits it hard and has that acceleration once he gets through the line of scrimmage. I think that's also a major difference between the two backs.
And both of them will be back next year. Beard is sophomore, Galloway a junior. Second and short. It's Galloway across midfield to the 48-yard line. Alabama's touchdown drive was a 10-play 80-yarder where they chewed up chunks just like this.
And I think it's no great surprise. I think the halftime adjustments made by Dennis Franchione in the locker room is basically, we're a running football team. Let's continue to run the football. And here's the handoff, and it's a nice job of Ahmad Galloway of picking and weaving between the tackles and the big offensive and defensive linemen in the hole and picking up the first down.
Iowa State shows blitz. Here they come, and Galloway can't slip through it. It's one thing that Les Kenning, the Alabama offensive coordinator, told us is that Iowa State will blitz, but they do it on the early downs. They don't wait for third down. They'll come at you first and 10.
And what they want to do is they want to put you in second and third long situations. They want to put pressure on the offense to try to make you throw the football. And that's going to be key in this game. If they can get to the line of scrimmage and put pressure on quarterback Andrews out and stuff the run early, that puts more pressure on the offense. Then they can play their game defensively and try to confuse the quarterback.
7th play of this drive. They've all been runs. And it's out of the air. Not quite. Dropped at the 46-yard line. 3rd sack. Matt Word, the junior middle linebacker out of Miami.
And this is what Iowa State would love to do. Here's Word on the top. Keep an eye on him. He's going to come, and he's going to delay blitz right there. He wanted to step back. He goes over the running back, Santonio Beard, and gets to quarterback Andrew Zhao. This is what Iowa State wants to do. As we talked about before, put you in second and long, third and long situation. That's his 2nd sack of the day. by middle linebacker Matt Word.
It wasn't hard to recruit him. He went to the same high school as the Davis brothers in Miami, Southridge High School. That was an easy sell. Zhou's throw on the money, but dropped. Millens thought he should have had a flag. Atif Austin on the coverage.
Atif Austin has been all over the field defensively for Iowa State. This is a nice job of timing the pass. Zhou's back in the pocket, looking left. Now he looks right, throws the ball, but right there, the ball's to the outside. But what really does it is the finish off by Atif Austin, getting his hands on the receiver's arms, making sure he cannot come down with the football.
Were his hands on the arms too early on that one?
It was very close, but you have to let him play.
Okay. I like it. You're a lot like Gilmore on that one. He doesn't give those wide receivers much at all. At the 8, a sliding stop on the special teams. And it's a long field. Wayne Bacon on the coverage. Long field now for Iowa State. They get their first possession of the second half when we return.
As history races before our eyes, some things never change. The confidence of a nation, the values of a company. At New York Life, financial strength, integrity, and humanity are our cornerstone, providing protection and security for millions of Americans everywhere. Values that make New York Life the company you keep.
Carrot Top here for 1-800-CALL-ATT. You don't have to be a great athlete like me to make it to the NBA All-Star Weekend. Because the more times you use 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls, the more chances you have to enter and win a trip for 2 to the 2002 NBA All-Star Weekend. 8 winners will be paired up with 8 NBA three-point shootout contestants. If your NBA partner wins the shootout, you win $50,000. It's easy. Just dial down the center with 1-800-CALL-ATT.
Nice shorts, Carrot Strap.
Is that trash talk, huh?
The cars from Chrysler. Exhilarating performance. Incredible engineering. And of course, eye-catching designs.
Hold on. I lost my wallet and my credit card was in it.
You do have a Capital One no-hassle card, don't you?
Well, don't worry. There's not another human for miles.
Worried about losing your credit card? With Capital One's no hassle card, you're not liable for a penny. Plus, get the nation's lowest long-term fixed rates and no telemarketing.
10-7, Iowa State on top, 10:41 left, third quarter. Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN continues with the Culligan Holiday Bowl tomorrow night. Number 9, Texas. Number 20, Washington. During the game on ESPN.com, please take part in Verge Friday. Log on. You can watch, play, and follow along. We'll have 2 coaches who will second-guess the guys on the field. Jim Donnan will do Washington. Dick Tomey will do Texas. We'll have user email with Kirk and Lee. Out across the 25, out to the 31-yard line is Ennis Haywoods. Real-time user polling and interactive broadcast. Verge Friday. Tomorrow night with the Culligan Holiday Bowl. Real-time coaching analysis is the fancy word for second-guessing.
Here's a great key to tell if your offensive linemen love your running back, Ennis Haywood. He's running down the field of play, getting blocks from his wide receivers, but watch at the end of the play. Look at the big uglies come down the field to play. Right at the end of the play, Lorenzo White, the rest of them, they want to rally around the running back.
Ennis Haywood to the 29, back to the line of scrimmage.
Rich, you don't see 340-pounders, 15 yards down the line of scrimmage, 15 yards down the field of play, trying to pick up an extra block for the running back. You don't see that very often. That just shows you that this is a very, very tight-knit group offensively for Iowa State.
They helped set the tone in that first half when Iowa State got off to a fast start. Their own 29. On 2nd and 11, Wallace is flushed out. Got a man wide open. A nice leaping grab by Danielson, who fights across the 40 and has the first down. A 12-yard pickup. Third catch for Lane Danielson.
I am more and more impressed by Seneca Wallace. Here, he's rolling to his left. It's not there. Protection breaks down. What does he do? He whips the ball right out of there on the run and on the money. It's incredible what he's able to do with the football. I can't think of a quarterback that's been more accurate throwing the ball on the run that I've seen the entire football season than Seneca Wallace has.
Well, especially factoring in the speed that he's got when he is on the run. Haywood will lose a yard. It's almost the prototype quarterback that these speed option multiple set teams are looking for.
That's what they have to have. They have to have a quarterback that is an athlete, that can do everything, multitask at that position. He can't be just a drop back quarterback. He has to throw on the run, and not just throw on the run, think on the run, not throw the ball into double coverage. If it's not there, throw it away. If your receiver's open, get the ball down the field of play. Here's Tyler Watts warming up, and here's a situation where he's a running quarterback. He can throw the ball, but he puts pressure on defenses running the football.
Wallace running, delivers on the run. It's deflected and almost intercepted. Jamal Montgomery had it bounce out of his arms, and Roberto McBride almost had that interception.
That hasn't been the first time that a receiver's had the ball in his hands and not been able to come down with a reception, but this offense, roll right, roll left, it's tough to defend for the Crimson Tide defense. Their secondary is not very good. A lot of teams have thrown the ball well against this secondary. LSU and Rohan Davey, the quarterback, 528 yards passing against this defense.
On 3rd and 11, here comes a blitz. Wallace steps up and delivers on the money at midfield. Craig Campbell's got a first down into Alabama territory, 19 yards on the pickup.
Now this is what I'm impressed with. Keep an eye in front of the line of scrimmage. Seneca Wallace, he'll step up and see all this green. There's no one out there. He can take off and run with the football, but he's patient enough to wait for Craig Campbell to become open, to throw the ball down the field for the first down.
And for a running quarterback, or a guy that can run as well as he does, you don't often see that. A guy that's patient enough. You saw how much green he had in front of him.
That's not often you find that in a quarterback, particularly a quarterback starting his first year in a Division I program.
That's a good point. The Alabama 41. Wallace, now he's in trouble, and this time they get him. Jarrett Johnson. First sack of the night for the Alabama defense.
Well, Seneca Wallace really didn't have a chance on this play. Protection breaks down. They go with the roll. They're going to fake the ball. Now back here, he doesn't have a chance to set and step up in the pocket. There's pressure on the outside, and then Jarrett Johnson finishes him off. But that's a nice play. Cornelius Wortham comes with the pressure on the outside. Jarrett Johnson's there to finish him off. This is what Alabama has to do. They have to put pressure on Seneca Wallace. They can't let him sit back in the pocket and dictate to the defense.
On 2nd and 18 now. Draw to Jermaine Billups to the 48-yard line. Wortham and a couple of other Crimson Tide defenders in on that stop.
This is like one of those heavyweight fights. They come with a bolo punch and pick up 15, 18 yards, get a first down, then the defense comes up with a big play and drops you for a loss, then you come back offensively and pick up yards. This is a great fight. It's a great contrast of different offenses against different defenses, but for both of these teams at the point of attack, I believe that's where this game will be won or lost in the fourth quarter.
Contrast is a good word, because for both of these teams, they're rather a mystery to each other. The first time they faced each other. Play clock running down. Wallace flushed out. A dangerous throw is caught at the 35. It's short of the first down. Jack Whitver made the catch. It'll be 4th down and about 4.
That's guts. First of all, that's athleticism. To avoid the rush on the outside. Keep an eye on Seneca Wallace. Right here, he sprints to the outside. Pressure's being brought on the outside by Thurman Ward. But right here, he's patient, but he throws the ball back across the grain. That's dangerous. And he threw it off balance, but he did complete the pass and pick up the positive yardage.
Iowa State is going to go for it. At least they appear to, but they're going to call a timeout first. 10-7, a 4th down when we get back.
don't believe in luck. I work hard.
I take control.
So when I decided to quit smoking, I chose Nicorette.
Nicorette helps me take charge. Helps prevent cravings by setting a regular schedule.
8 pieces a day. 10.
7.
And if a sudden craving appears,
I take action with another piece.
and now, thanks to me and Nicorette.
I'm finally gonna win.
And luck has nothing to do with it.
You can do it. Nicorette can help.
Miss Blaine, on 30 October, you were observed handing out these suspicious-looking little discs.
Those discs you refer to bestow freedom on all who possess them.
What you call freedom, I call license. A license to go willy-nilly all over the internet without paying a cent.
Well, shouldn't that be a right? Shouldn't the internet be free to us, our children, and to all people? Net Zero believes it should.
Major Applewhite is back as Texas fights to hold off Washington. Texas, Washington, the Culligan Holiday Bowl, Friday, December 28th on ESPN.
10-7, Iowa State on top of Alabama on 4th down and 5. Iowa State was still in the huddle, and I think Seneca Wallace was trying to call a timeout, but Alabama had their punt return team on and had to burn the timeout.
The wrong personnel, but Iowa State catches a break because now they get a chance to go back and think of what they want to do. They're going to go for it on 4th down.
On 4th and 4. Wallace to the sidelines, caught out of bounds. Wayne Bacon on the sidelines. Jack Whitver, the intended receiver.
I'll tell you what, this is a gutsy call right here to throw this play. Only 4th and 5 to pick it up, throw the ball that far downfield. But look at the athleticism on Wayne Bacon right at the end of the play, leaping up in the air. He was up in the air a good 30 inches off the ground. That's just a smart play. That's an aggressive play, getting to the football and knowing what to do when you get there by Wayne Bacon.
Deflecting it off the hands of Whitver. It's a secondary that hasn't had a lot of big plays in terms of interceptions this year. They only have 6. And on the ground with Galloway. That brings up an interesting point, Mark, and we haven't addressed it yet. Neither of these teams turned the ball over much on the season, and they both have done a wonderful job of keeping hold of the ball tonight.
And that's something that you have to practice continually. And it's got to be harped on by your head coach. And both these coaches do a magnificent job of doing this. And for Alabama, 15 turnovers this season, plus turnover margin. They hold on to the football, which is outstanding, and they don't throw interceptions. Only 5 interceptions thrown by both quarterbacks for Alabama this season.
Iowa State had just 14 turnovers this year and just 2 fumbles. Out to the 39-yard line. That's incredible that Iowa State lost 2 fumbles all year.
And we've only had 1 turnover in this game, and that was the interception thrown by Andrew Zhao to Adam Rowe. And I think both of these coaches looked at this game and said, whoever wins the turnover battle will probably win this game. Well, the team so far that's won the turnover battle is leading in this game. That's Iowa State.
Now a 3rd down. We saw Tyler Watts warming up. He has yet to take a snap. Zhao in the shotgun on 3rd down. Double screen, smelled out and stuffed. DeAndre Phillips.
Now for DeAndre Phillips, this is an incredible read. He's at the safety position. He's backed up. Keep an eye on him. They're going to run stunts with a defensive front. Watch the stunts. Little twist on the front. Try to confuse the offensive line. The line gets out in the screen. But look at the beat. Boom! Right there on the receiver out in the flat. That's a great read on a screen. Don't go for the bait on the screen. Get to the football and watch the front.
Lane Bearden. Todd Miller at the 32. And Miller, a nice return out to the 44-yard line. Good-sized crowd on hand in Shreveport for the Mainstay Independence Bowl. 10-7, Iowa State.
In the future, where will technology take you?
How will you communicate? Stay in touch.
Get your music.
What will you have in your briefcase?
In your car.
Or on your body? Is there any limit to how wired you can be?
You have questions? So do we. That's why we're here.
Tech TV. Television about technology.
Play I'm designing here for you guys today, call it Change Right, 22 Houston. This play isolates the Mike linebacker right in the middle. That's me right there, 16, that's me. X has a go route, the fullback's blocking and running a reroute. Sells like he's going to the flat and busts right back across the middle. The Mike linebacker drops, they play cover 2, take your shot. You always got to take a shot. Once he catches the ball in the middle, he can do great things with it.
Back in the pocket, looking to throw to the end zone, touchdown.
That's it.
When my time on earth is gone and my activities here are past, I want they bury me upside down and my critics can kiss my...
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2001 Mainstay Independence Bowl is brought to you by Chrysler. Drive equals love. And by Capital One, proud sponsor of the Capital One Florida Citrus Bowl on January 1st.
This has turned into almost a comfortable night in Shreveport. Temperature's about 45 degrees. Iowa State a 10-7 lead. With the ball on the move, their own 44. Seneca Wallace going deep. Campbell flags down. And let's see who's got the football. It looks initially like a catch. The officials are conferring.
I think it's got to be defensive pass interference. But Alabama was in a situation they didn't want to be in. They blitzed up front, which left their cornerbacks one-on-one down the field to play. There you go.
Interference against Alabama. Now the question is, was it a catch or an interception? Let's take a look. It looks like an interception.
It does.
And that obviously with the pass interference wipes out the interception. And it's a 15-yard penalty, the first of the night against Alabama.
And that's one heck of a job by Alabama. This is a team that's had more penalty yards in the history of Alabama this year. They were penalized 93 times for 737 yards. And to go through 2.5 quarters with only one penalty, that's a pretty good achievement by this Alabama football team.
Wallace on the move again. In traffic, Campbell comes away with it. That's some catch by Craig Campbell. Seneca Wallace has threaded some balls through some traffic here.
And Craig Kelly on this play, under duress, rolling left, throwing it right, so smooth, weaving that ball between two defenders. That's concentration by Craig Kelly on that play. And that's like catching a BB in the dark in between two defenders, being able to come down with that reception.
So 1st and 10. And it's Haywood inside the 25, down to the 22, 4-yard pickup. Remember, Iowa State was on a drive like this to finish the first half. They got down to the 11, did not come away with points. They had to attempt a field goal, and they missed a 25-yarder.
And I think this is about the time of the game where we'll see a little trickeration. Both teams tried trick plays earlier in this game, and they kind of put him to bed for a while. But I think right now Alabama's set up for something.
Wallace caught and drops. Cornelius Wortham, sophomore out of Calhoun City, Mississippi.
That's a nice play. You want your defensive ends, your linebackers, to stay and contain. Wortham on that play did exactly what he was coached. Even though the offense was going to the right, he kept his contain on the play.
Cyclones faced with another 3rd down and 11. Two of 8 tonight. Wallace in trouble. Caught by Campbell, but he's well short of the 1st down. And I think we'll see Tony Yelk. We'll mark it at the 24. It will be about a 42-yard field goal attempt.
And Wallace in trouble on that play. That was almost like a jailbreak.
Yeah, initially, the reaction is he's setting up a screen.
Yeah, and nobody was out there for the screen. I don't think that was the right call in the huddle. Either that or here's the other key. The ball may have been snapped just a tick early.
All right, here is Yelk. "41 yards. He missed from 25. He's made from 36. And this one is good. Cyclones have 3 points to show for that drive. We check in with Heather Cox.
Rich, we all heard part of the emotional edition of God Bless America sung by Officer Rodriguez. And Daniel, how have the songs that you're singing changed in the light of the events of September 11th?
I think songs like God Bless America have become an anthem for 9/11, and they've become more than just songs. They become like prayers. You know, God bless America, a prayer for God to help us out through these troubled times.
You're really wearing 2 hats, not only a police officer, but also a very talented singer, as we've all heard. You have an opportunity to train with Placido Domingo. How did that come about?
Well, I auditioned for Placido Domingo. The mayor had initiated the contact between him and I sang a couple of songs, and he invited me to come down to Washington to the Young Artist Program, the Villar Young Artist Program. And in March, I began my training there for 3.5 months. And hopefully after that, maybe take my place with some of the great tenors.
All right, Daniel, congratulations. Thanks so much. Best of luck to you. You've certainly been a symbol of inspiration to us.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Southern hospitality is a great thing.
Back up to the booth.
All right, thank you, Heather. And the Independence Bowl taking on a little special meeting with the folks nearby at Barksdale Air Force Base. You'll remember that on 9/11, President Bush's plane landed at Barksdale on its way back from Florida, landed here at Barksdale. They have 900 deployed of the 5,000 that are stationed on that base. 65 B-52s are located here, the biggest B-52 base on the planet, they say. Alabama's going to bring it out, and Jason McCadley might think differently after that hit. Brings it out to the 16-yard line. Saturday edition, Monday Night Football. You've got the Ravens and the Buccaneers, and of course Monday Night Countdown moved to Saturday as well, presented by UPS. It starts at 7:30 Eastern. The game kicks at 9 Eastern on ABC Sports. Who do you like in this one?
I'll tell you what, the Buccaneers offense, they finally have a pulse. They showed the rest of the NFL that in December, Tony Dungy's group are a group to be reckoned with. I like the Johnson boys for that Tampa Bay Buccaneer, Brad Johnson.
Against the Baltimore defense?
You betcha, against that defense.
Freddie Millen's in motion. Zhao delivers it to the big tight end, Terry Jones Jr. And he rambles across the 30, out to the 33-yard line. It's a 20-yard pickup. We haven't heard much from Mr. Jones.
No, he's a great blocker in this offense, and what he's able to provide is toughness. And he's kind of a guy that, when he looks back, he's one of those superstition guys. He always wears rubber bands on his wrist. And the only 2 times he didn't do that, once in high school, he got injured, and last year he got injured where he had a season-ending knee injury.
Rubber bands in place tonight, for sure. Zhao. Hit. Somehow he got it away, and it's incomplete. Dan McCarty wants grounding. Now the key here is he's out of the tackle box. That pass has to go past the line of scrimmage.
And Zhao's shaken up on this play also. He's taking his time getting back to the huddle. What a play by Matt Word. He's got a beat on quarterback Andrew Zhao. He's rolling out, looking down the field to play. Look at that. Closing speed right there. That's a nice job right there. But throwing the ball, that's very close. But that's a great play, 1 by Matt Word, getting to the quarterback. And 2 by Zhao getting rid of the ball.
Zhao stays in there. Hit again and dropped again. Jeremy Lloyd.
And Matt Word again. I'll tell you what, we're talking about a linebacker that's really come of age. Keep an eye on Word in the middle and the rest of his compadres up front. You see 3 down defensive linemen. They run a twist on the outside. It confuses the offensive line. Santonio Beard cannot pick up the blitzing linebacker, Matt Word, and the rest of the defense gives the quarterback to the center.
Well, he had Jeremy Lloyd to deal with as well. Take your pick on those two. He didn't block either. 3rd down and long. Zhao. This time he's going to tuck it and go up and land at the 37. He's well short of the first down. Matt Word, another stop. That's 10 tackles now for Word. The tackle leader for this Iowa State team. He had 108 on the season.
He is all over the football field. And what's happened to the offense for Alabama, Iowa State's confusing them. They're coming up with 3 down linemen, with 4 down linemen. They're running twist stunts up front. They're blitzing linebackers, and they're giving them an array of different looks defensively for this young Alabama offensive line.
Low snap. Bearden gets it away. Todd Miller waits at the 20. Flag goes down. That was real close. And it looks initially like a halo infraction. Chris James made the hit for Alabama.
That's a wonderful job of hustling by Chris James, but you have to be smart in this situation.
You got to give him the 2 yards in the halo.
Non-contact, kick catch interference on the kicker team. 5 yards from the spot, 1st down.
Ron Cherry, our referee. Here's a look. Wow, that's
2 yards.
That is 2 yards. I mean,
it's close.
The speed at which he was traveling, those 2 yards disappeared in a blink of an eye. And they're tending to Andrew Zhao right now. Iowa State football, their own 24 now. It was a 5-yard penalty. Wallace dumps it out. Haywood the catch at the 26. 3 quarters have passed here in Shreveport. Alabama's starting quarterback on the bench right now, Andrew Zhao. 13-7, Iowa State back for the 4th after this.
Sunday NFL Countdown, Sunday mornings at 11 Eastern, only on ESPN.
It was our first house, and shortly before my parents' grand inspection, there was a tiny problem. I told my State Farm agent I had to get it fixed fast.
When you choose State Farm's Premier Service Claims Program, there's no calling around for estimates. You just go straight to a participating contractor, and they'll guarantee their work.
So this is it?
It's just that simple.
Why they don't build them like this anymore? They don't.
Premier Service, just one more way. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love is all that I can give to you.
From Claudia Rodriguez to her childhood friend.
K2 Construction and their #1 supplier.
Grandpa William and his grandson Billy.
Chang Lin and her great-great-aunt.
Sergeant Peter Kozak and his fiancée Deb.
To all the people who can't be together, from all the people who bring you together, happy holidays.
Timmy Welsh and a Mr. S. Claus.
Introducing the new long-lasting scent of Bob. Bob showers with new Zest Rainforest Falls. The cleaner rinsing lather leaves Bob feeling fresh and clean long into the day, which makes having Bob around quite pleasant.
Hello.
New Rainforest Falls Zest. You just can't find a better clean.
Do you like legs?
good, because right now at Red Lobster, a pound of hot, steaming snow crab legs is just $10.99. So walk, run, or crawl to Red Lobster and go overboard.
We're here with a bunch of friends in our racing limo to test the power of interstate batteries. Anyone for a power state?
Hey, this baby cranking out some power.
Interstate batteries, power fast, built to last.
Hey, just won first, second, third place. Woo!
1 quarter left in this mainstay Independence Bowl. Iowa State a 13-7 lead over Alabama. Rich Waltz, Mark May, Heather Cox. Back at Independence Stadium in Shreveport. Seneca Wallace and the Cyclones at their own 26-yard line. The draw to Ennis Haywood. And he is stopped at the 30-yard line. Our ESPN game track, the stories and the pictures from this game. Tony Young, the redshirt freshman kicker, has hit a pair of field goals for Iowa State.
And Seneca Wallace, the quarterback for Iowa State, adds a different dimension when he can pull the ball down and run right at the teeth of the defense.
Speaking of running, it's been Iowa State who has run well against Alabama. This big run by Haywood, part of a 305-yard output by the Iowa State offense.
And Iowa State's done basically exactly what we thought we would see from this offense. Seneca Wallace having a good game, and Ennis Haywood having a good game on the ground.
Third down, and a long 4. Haywood gets a block and the first down to the 42-yard line. Gerald Dixon made the stop, 12 yards on the pickup. It's a multiple offense, and their offensive coordinator, Steve Loney, is the guy that ran this same offense with success in his stop at Minnesota. Spent a couple years there under Glenn Mason. Thomas Hamner was his running back. Billy Cockrum was an option quarterback who didn't throw it as well as Wallace, but ran that offense very well in Minnesota. Second year for Loney, back at his alma mater, and he's done quite well in his last 2 years.
And he also doubles as the offensive line coach, and I think that has a lot to do with the play calling ability of Steve Loney. When he listens to his line come to the side and say, I can block this guy. Okay, we'll run that.
Pass is incomplete. Let's check in with Heather Cox. Heather?
Well, Rich, the official word down here on the Alabama sideline is that Tyler Zhao has a bruised calf. However, they're icing not only his calf, but also his knee. Coach Franchione came over and said, are you good to go? And he said, Coach, I don't think so. Obviously, we've seen Watts warming up on the sideline. I wouldn't be surprised to see Watts in on the next series.
All right, thank you, Heather. That will be an adjustment for the Iowa State defense if and when that happens.
He's a very versatile quarterback, not only throwing the ball, as you see 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but also running with the football. He puts a lot of pressure on defense and his ability. Over 560 yards on the ground, 5.1 yards per carry. That's pressure.
Play clock almost expired. Wallace steps up, pumps once, and has his man, Danielson, to the 40-yard line. Lane Danielson for another first down for Iowa State.
Look how cool and confident Seneca Wallace is at the quarterback position. He's not afraid to throw that ball across the field. Most quarterbacks wouldn't make a lot of throws like this, but he has the confidence in his arm strength and his receivers where he's going to throw the football.
The drive continues on 1st and 10. Little swing pass. And Jamal Montgomery with the catch. He'll lose a yard. Kendall Moorhead, Salim Rashid in on that stop.
That's a name we haven't heard called a lot tonight. Salim Rashid. He made a couple of plays early in the first half. But I think the misdirection in some of the plays that Iowa State runs really has to keep him at home because they want him to keep an eye on quarterback Seneca Wallace. They don't want Seneca Wallace to hurt them running the football. So he basically has to stay at home a lot of the times instead of being the defense.
On 2nd and 11. Blitz is coming. Dump it to Haywood. To the 30. He's very close to the first down. 11 yards on the completion. Todd Bates made the stop for Alabama.
Now this is a nice job of running a quick little underneath screen, middle screen. The offensive linemen do a wonderful job of getting down the field of play. That's well coached. if the defensive lineman doesn't rush, knock him down the field to play. That's exactly what the Iowa State offensive line was able to accomplish on the last play.
Since Loney is the offensive line coach, he's one of the few offensive coordinators you'll find that are on the sidelines.
Sometimes that's a good thing, because basically when you can look a quarterback in an eye and your players in the eye and they tell you what they feel is going to be successful, I believe it.
Third down short. Haywood has the first down to the 28-yard line. Ennis Haywood, senior out of Dallas, Texas. When you build a program or rebuild it, as Dan McCarney has done, you have to find players that other people haven't found. And I think he did that in Haywood, and he certainly did that in Seneca Wallace.
You have to find those nuggets that are out there, and good coaches and good recruiting programs are able to do that.
And now that they've had success these last 2 years, Iowa State is really starting to have success in their home state of Iowa. Haywood bouncing outside. And he's out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
And I believe this play, the reason why they were able to have success is Lane Danielson goes in motion. So the entire defense is watching him go in motion, and they think it's going to be a trick play. So what happens? They don't contain on the backside, and it's the great vision of Haywood to cut the ball to the left and take the ball for the big game.
Ennis Haywood over 100 yards. That's good news for Dan McCarney and the Cyclones. Second down. Fumble. It's still loose. And who's got it? Alabama says they do. And you can see the referee, Ron Cherry, in there with his hand up, signaling it's Iowa State ball.
And over 100 yards again for Ennis Haywood. When he rushes for over 100 yards, they don't lose. It's 12-0. It's in the bag for Iowa State, but I believe it's not over yet. There's a long way to go in this football game, but that's one thing that guys can believe in on the sidelines and building confidence in. And this is a football team that doesn't lose fumbles. It's just the quarterback, Seneca Wallace, not concentrating on the ball, getting a grip on the ball, but Ennis Haywood down at the bottom of the pile scoops up the fumble.
To the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for Campbell. That a third down play. Only 3 fumbles in the last 56 games.
That is incredible. That starts back at the beginning of the '97 season. This team has been phenomenal of protecting the football. And when the ball is on the ground, all those red jerseys from Iowa, they were going for the football. At the bottom of the pile, and it's Haywood, the running back.
All right, an important field goal now for Tony Yelp. It would stretch it enough that Alabama would need 2 scores. And Yelp missed it. Dan McCarney not happy. Yelp 2 for 4. And it's still a 13-7 ball game.
Ken Rosewall, 18 Grand Slam championships. Rod Laver, 20 Grand Slam championships. Both are mainstay investors. When you understand the game, you invest your money in mainstay funds.
Ooh.
Nice shot. Buffalo wings, $1 each.
$1 a wing? Woo, how much for the whole buffalo?
You know something better for $1?
How about a 20-minute phone call?
Really?
Sure, dial 10-10-220 and all calls up to 20 minutes, 99 cents. 7 cents a minute after 20.
10-10-220 is cheap. Hey, the wings are on me.
Hey, man, quit blocking the plate. Sorry, dude, it's my job. Hey,
dial 10-10-220.
You practice Hey, all man, week. you're big leaguing me now.
Here we go.
You gotta love Johnny Cash. The man in black's the kind of guy who doesn't need sparkly outfits, synchronized dance moves. Johnny just bleeds every note till he brings the house down. I'm just saying, don't send a boy band to do a man's job. Ford F-Series Super Duty. Built to toe the line. Built Ford tough.
That's the way to get it done.
Meet the world's greatest sled dog team. Diesel, Scooper, Yodel, Sniff, Nana, and Demon. As they meet their new owner.
Okay, just like a jet ski with fur.
On January 18th. Get ready for Mush Hour.
Then you really stepped in it this time.
Disney Snow Dogs. Rated PG. Starts Friday, January 18th at a theater near you.
Alabama is still within 6 points. 13-7. Iowa State on top. The Cyclones have missed a pair of field goals. Tyler Watts stays on the field. And Andrew Zhao, the man that has delivered them here to a bowl game. He came in relief when Watts was injured, led him to the win over Mississippi State. The shellacking at Auburn as they beat Auburn. And then he beat Southern Miss as well. Freddie Millings, incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
If this ball's up a little higher, this is going to be a big play because Freddie Millins has his wide receivers in front of him, throwing some great blocks down the field of play. But here's the key. Alabama has to throw the football. Only 76 yards in the air. Iowa State, 206.
The #1 rushing team in the SEC, but averaging just 183 yards a game through the air. And they're well below that tonight, as you saw. 2nd and 10. Option, and the pitch to Santonio Beard out to the 30. It's a gain of 6.
Rich, I think you have to test the calf of Andrew Zhao when he runs the option. You want to find out if he's 100%, if he has a sore calf muscle, bruised calf muscle, make him run the football. Take the option away from him. Find out if he's healthy.
That's the biggest difference in an option play between Zhao and Watts. John Spadani told us with Zhao on the option, they want him to hold on to the ball. With Watts, they want it out of his hands. 4 of 8 on 3rd down. Zhao's throw is on the money. Millins the catch at the 38. You pull for a kid like Andrew Zhao. Les Kenning, the offensive coordinator, told us he's the best kid he's been around in college football.
Keep an eye on the rotation of Zhao when he rolls out of the pocket. I think that's impressive because now his calf looks fine. Then he sets up to throw the ball, and the ball's on the money. That's putting some heat on the football. That's putting it the only place your receiver can get it and the defender can't.
Galloway the carry, stuffed at the 37-yard line. Jordan Karstens, the sophomore, made the stop for Iowa State.
Rich, and I'm going to go back to what I talked about in this game at least twice. Coming out in pads, practicing for a bowl game, every day, getting callous, getting used to the hits, being physical with each other. I think it's paying off for Iowa State, and I said it would, particularly late in the game. I think when you look at head coach McCarney on Iowa State's side, Dan McCarney, I think he realized that's going to pay off in the 4th quarter, and it is at this point.
Zhao under pressure, incomplete. Sam Collins, the intended receiver.
Here's Andrew Zhao out of the shotgun. He's rolling to his left. He doesn't have a chance to turn his shoulders, but pressure is brought on again by Matt Word and Justin Eilers on the play. And after the play, quarterback Andrew Zhao is limping. Keep an eye on Andrew Zhao. He's not 100%. He's limping after this play.
Sore calf and all, 3rd down and 11. Zhao sets up the screen. It's Beard at the 43, short of the 1st down, 7-yard pickup. Anthony Forrest made the hit.
Anthony Forrest made the first hit, but the top off was by Matt Word.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, I am impressed by this linebacker. He just sells out from sideline to sideline. 6 foot, and they say he's really 5'11", 230 pounds, but he gets the job done. He's one of those football players you don't worry if he runs a 4.5. He knows how to get from sideline to sideline and make tackle. He's a good tackler.
Part of John Skladany's defense. 6th of the night for Lane Beard as he'll punt it away. And we'll watch the hang time. Not a lot of it. The fair catch signaled for and made by Todd Miller. Iowa State football, they've got the lead. 7:47 left in this Mainstay Independence Bowl.
As history races before our eyes, some things never change. The confidence of a nation, the values of a company. At New York Life, financial strength, integrity, and humanity are our cornerstone, providing protection and security for millions of Americans everywhere. Values that make New York Life the company you keep.
One of the coolest things about Rocky was how he did his training. Untraditional methods. We'd be pounding on pot roast, drinking raw egg smoothies, chasing a chicken, all that crazy stuff to make himself tougher. That'd be fit for sequels. Ford F-150, built to last and come in first. Built Ford tough.
People think Louisiana's just got jazz and Cajun music, but this is where Hank Williams, Kitty Wells, Johnny Cash, even the King Elvis Presley first made it big. They got their start on the Louisiana Hayride radio show. When Hank first sang Jambalaya, the crowd went wild. The crowd's still going wild.
Call 1-800-99-GUMBO today for your free Louisiana tour guide.
Yeehaw!
The BCS kicks off when Big 12 champ Colorado faces Pac-10 champ Oregon. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, New Year's Day at 4:30, 1:30 Pacific on ABC.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2001 Mainstay Independence Bowl is presented by Mainstay, proud sponsor of the Mainstay Independence Bowl, and in part by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough.
7:47 left. Iowa State with the lead and the ball. Seneca Wallace setting, throwing, deep, got his man who couldn't hold it. It was behind him. Campbell had to reach for it, and by then, Wayne Bacon had caught him.
This is a terrific play by Wayne Bacon on this play, adjusting to the ball, turning and running to the receiver. He couldn't see the ball, but playing the ball when the receiver turns back to receive the ball. But I'll tell you what, this is going for the throat on this play. This is trying to put the dagger right in the heart of Alabama. Offensive coordinator Steve Loney right on first down, taking the ball down the field vertically against the Alabama defense.
2nd and 10. You know, I was just going to ask you if Iowa State was going to keep it on the ground and try to run some clock, and they went up top big first play. They'll go up again. This time the screen. Haywood bumped out of bounds. Good play by the Alabama defense. Reggie Miles on the hit. It's a gain of maybe 5.
Alabama trying to apply pressure on the play, going for the blitz on the play, but a screen was called by Iowa State. That's a smart job of getting rid of the ball by Seneca Wallace. And look at the sideline of the Alabama players. I'd like to see a little bit more life, a little bit more rallying behind my team on the field if I'm on the sidelines, to make sure that the guys on the sidelines are supporting and behind you. That's one of those things that head coach Dennis Franchione's been able to bring to this team, some excitement to this football team.
3rd down 5. Wallace over the middle. It's caught by Mike Banks, the captain of this team, the tight end. His first catch of the night, and it's a big one.
And this is something that Seneca Wallace hasn't shown us yet, but it's another step in his progression of impressing me as a quarterback. Right in his face, he's being nailed by Jarrett Johnson. But Mike Banks, the big tight end, they call him the Manimal. He's one of those guys that they respect. He's a great blocker. They say he's got pretty good hands. He'll make the hard catch, but sometimes he has difficulty making the easy catch. But that was a hard catch he made.
11-yard pickup, now on the ground. Haywood to the 41-yard line. Let's check in with Heather Cox. Heather?
Rich, some more information for you on Alabama quarterback Andrew Zhao. He got kicked behind the knee. They've massaged it. They've iced it. He said, yes, he can play, but he's only about 60%. They're worried about how effective Zhao will be on the run. Now, don't forget, Tyler Watts continues to nurse a pulled groin, but he is remaining very active on the sideline down here.
And Watts on a couple of occasions tonight has warmed up, has thrown the football around, but has yet to take a snap. Second down and 9. Haywood with the 44, gain of a couple.
Haywood just has that body lean that you like to see in a back that runs between the tackles. He's always low. He's always going to fall forward. Rarely takes a loss on the play when you give him a chance to get the ball in his hands and look down the field.
Just under 6 minutes. Haywood over 100 yards. Third down. Wallace flushed out. Seneca drops. That was a tough catch, though. And it's incomplete. Jamal Montgomery, sophomore out of Long Beach, California.
But it's the pressure by Kendall Moorhead. His rush up the field, getting pressure, flushing out quarterback Seneca Wallace, which really made the play defensively for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Tony Yelk, who is also the field goal kicker. He has made a couple. He's missed a couple field goals. He's had a good night punting, though, averaging 47 per kick. He's nailed a couple, and this one is blocked. Alabama blocks the kick. They'll get it at the 29-yard line.
For Tony Yelk, that's his second blocked punt on the season. He's had 4 field goals blocked, but as Coach Dan McCarney's telling him, you can't hold on to the ball. Get rid of it as soon as you get it in your hands. Here he gets the ball. Look at it. He positions it, takes an extra step, but it's the rush by Alabama that's able to get to the punter. Here it is again. Here's another look. Get the ball in your hands. Don't worry about position it. Punt it. But it's the rush from Alabama right up the gut that gets pressure on Tony Yelk and blocks this punt.
Wayne Bacon, the junior safety, got through to get it. Zhao, Galloway, and Iowa State's defense answers. Justin Eilers on the stop.
For timeouts, Alabama used one when they didn't have to use one early, which could cost them in this game. But this is the moment of truth for both of these teams. For Iowa State, put the bad field position. Can the defense stand up and stop them? For Alabama, can they take the ball down and get it into the end zone? They've had a problem moving this ball, converting when they had to on third down situations.
On 2nd and 8. Zhao. Caught! Touchdown! Terry Jones Jr., the big tight end. 27 yards. Neil Thomas for the extra point. Alabama has their first lead of the ball game. Andrew Zhao, 60% is good enough. Jones with a touchdown. The Tide is on top by 1.
Available now from DirecTV. It's the Stars Super Pack, #1 in new hit movies, featuring 12 premium movie channels for only $10 more per month. See new hit movies like Remember the Titans, Bounce, and more. The Stars Super Pack, over 500 movie choices, 12 channels, only $10 more per month. It's the best movie value on DirecTV. Call now to order the Star Super Pack, #1 in new hit movies. Call 1-800-547-4DTV.
Direct from the Olympic City, Sydney, Australia, the crowning of the first WWA World Champion in a wrestling extravaganza not seen before on TV. In an elimination series, the Chosen One, Jeff Jarrett, along with Road Dogg Jesse James, Stevie Ray, Jerry the King Lawler, Juventud Guerrera, Marcus Buff Bagwell, plus many more battle, watched over by the Commissioner Bret the Hitman Hart. World Wrestling All-Stars, The Inception, playing this month on direct ticket pay-per-view on DirecTV.
Friday, in the Holiday Bowl, senior QB Major Applewhite is back at the helm for Texas as they fight to hold off Larry Triplett and Washington. Texas, Washington, the Culligan Holiday Bowl, 8:30 Friday on ESPN.
Later on SportsCenter, the Mets cross one more name off their shopping list, but are there more deals ahead? What does Michael have to do against Reggie to start another streak? And who's the biggest attraction at the Rose Bowl? Join me, Linda Cohn, along with Carl Ravitch after the game.
Alabama 14, Iowa State 13, 4:44 left in the fourth quarter. 4 being the operative number has not been good for Alabama this year.
Alabama's had a tough time closing the door on their opponents, having the lead in the fourth quarter. That's something that a young football team needs to do, is learn how to win in the fourth quarter. That's one of the things head coach for Alabama, Dennis Franchione, has been trying to drill into his football team. The game is not over until the last play is over.
Flags down. Miller on the return out to the 25-yard line. Flag back at the 18.
On the return, there's a block in the back by the return team. Half the distance from the spot of foul, first down.
And for Alabama, keep an eye at Terry Jones Jr. right here. He's going to fight through the 3 defenders from Iowa State. There's confusion on the play. Then he's going to run to the corner, and the safety, Anthony Forrest, has his shoulders turned, and he just outruns the defense. It's a broken coverage by Iowa State. First of all, not finding out where the tight end is. Second of all, not communicating on the play. They went for the play fake, the play action pass. They all stepped up to quarterback Andrews out. They were caught flat-footed. It cost him a touchdown in the lead.
And that's a 265-pound tight end on that pattern, my friend.
Hard to miss a guy like that.
Yeah. Now Seneca Wallace with his team down by a point. Short hop to Campbell, and it's incomplete. Coming up 10:30 Eastern, SportsCenter to give you all the day's highlights. Miller time for Michael. Is Miami worried? One Mo deal. Mo Vaughn finally on the move. Carl Ravitch, Linda Cohn. With SportsCenter coming up. Here in Shreveport, 45,627, the 8th largest crowd in Independence Bowl history. Seen a pretty good one so far. Alabama a 1-point lead. And Iowa State got 92 yards to go. They're going to get some of them on this carry by Haywood, who has the first down out to the 25-yard line. That's a 15-yard pickup.
I think that's a terrific call by the Iowa State offensive coordinator, Steve Loney. 2nd and 10 yards to go. You're patient with your running game. You've got a quarterback that can roll out and make plays. Make the defense respect that quarterback. That opens up the running game. That's a heck of a call of sticking to your guns. You run the ball first with this offense. That's what they were able to do. Hanging his hat on his offensive line and his running game.
The clock continues to roll as it melts under 4 minutes. Banks in motion. Another draw. This time, no gain.
And even though there's no gain on this play, I still like it because now the defense still has to respect the run. If you're going to try to key on quarterback Seneca Wallace, you're still going to have to worry about running back Ennis Haywood. And it kind of compacts the defense down. Even on 2nd and long, you look at the last play, they ran the ball for a first down. So you cannot just key on quarterback Seneca Wallace.
You better start keying on the clock, though, if you're Iowa State.
Got all their timeouts. There's plenty of time.
Okay. Wallace Man, that's another difficult throw. Campbell makes the catch. You know, I've seen one quarterback this year that can make that throw, rolling to his left and throw it on the money. That's David Carr from Fresno State. Wallace has done it time in and time out tonight.
And look at the poise. Watch the hit at the end. He knows he's going to get lambasted, and he does right at the end of the play. That's by Aries Monroe. But he's smart enough to concentrate on his receiver down the field and flutter that ball in there so his receiver, Craig Campbell, can come down with the reception.
Remember, even though he's missed 2 field goals, Tony Yelk has a very strong leg.
I think he can kick it 60 easily. In warm-ups, he was kicking 55-yarders fairly consistently.
Total yardage, Iowa State has the advantage, but they're down a point. Wallace, incomplete. Threw it behind Jack Whitver. Gerald Dixon, good coverage for Alabama. Sports Center coming up next. Carl Ravitch, Linda Cohn.
I think this is an area, if I'm calling plays as an offensive coordinator, I go back to a screen game. Swing it out to my back or throw a screen. Now you've got Alabama, which is going to attack the line of scrimmage and go after quarterback Seneca Wallace. As they've done the last few plays, you've got an opportunity to dump the ball off, short pass and all. But I'm up in the booth. I can second guess anything.
Here's Wallace. Wallace going to throw it up deep for Danielson. Got it! Flag down. 2 flags down.
I think that may be against Danielson. I think he pushed off right at the end of the play. But I think if you go back and look at the play, both Gerald Dixon pushed before the play, and I think Danielson did just as the ball was coming down.
I have seen a call this year where they've called interference on both the receiver and the defender.
I think it's going to be in Iowa State.
I think you're right.
And you really can't argue with Lane Danielson. He's trying to come down with a big play. He's making an adjustment back for the ball. They're both hooked up right here. That little push at the end cost him. If he just turns his shoulders to the ball, he's able to catch this ball without a penalty. But I think it's that little push that got him in trouble.
The finishing push.
The finishing push. And it doesn't help when the defender that's covering you goes on the ground before you make the reception.
It's a huge penalty, yardage-wise. Obviously, that was a 47-yard pickup. And this is going to turn into a 15-yard penalty, 2nd and 25. I don't know what Steve Loney and Dan McCarney have in the playbook for 2nd and 25, but we're about to find out.
I'll tell you what, Rich, with most offenses, I would be very concerned at this situation. But in situations like this, you've got those 2 downs. Pick up 12 or 15 yards, then on 3rd down, try to do the same thing. Don't try to get it all in one stroke.
You know, Iowa State thought the ball was on the other hash. They broke and they had to change the formation. Here comes 2nd and 25. Wallace drills it. Whitford the catch at midfield. 26 yards on the pickup. That's what they had in the playbook for 2nd and 25.
I will tell you one thing. We are seeing a star in the making in this football game in Seneca Wallace. Excellent pass protection by the guys up front. It allows Seneca Wallace to step up in the pocket. Let them do their stunts and twists. Step up in the pocket, keep your eyes downfield, and then drill the ball down the field to play. That's what you want out of your quarterback. That's exactly what Seneca Wallace did.
Clock restarts as they move the chains. Wallace 23 of 37. He's had about a half a dozen dropped as well. Low snap. Wallace in trouble. Going to tuck it and escape to the 42.
You know what he reminds me of? A young Steve Young. When Steve Young was at Brigham Young, this is how he played. He attacked defenses. He had the feet and the ability to run away when he scrambled with the football, Seneca Wallace does, but he also has the strength in his arm. Now, this is complete concentration on this snap for Seneca Wallace. It's a bad snap. The snap's all the way to his right again. That's the 2nd time that's happened tonight, but he's able to come up with a football. Now, make something happen with the ball. Take off running, and he makes the defense miss.
There was a flag down. Alabama was offsides. And so Iowa State is going to take an 8-yard gain rather than a 5-yard penalty. They will, however, lose that down. Instead of 1st and 5, it's 2nd and 2.
Yeah, but when you have a mobile quarterback, I think that's the key. He could pick up 2 yards just by breaking containment.
Alabama shows blitz. And here they come. Wallace hit and dropped back at the 47. Kendall Moorhead. And here's where declining that penalty and losing that down.
Comes back to haunt you just a little bit. But here's the key on this play. If Seneca Wallace can take this ball down and run with it, he may pick up the first down to his left. There's nothing but green fields to his left.
So from 2nd and 2, it turns into 3rd down and what looks like 7. And timeout, Iowa State.
Rich, what's 3rd and 7 when you're 2nd and 25 and get 26? You go back to that last play again.
I know.
You come up with that 3rd and 8 play.
I know. Well, what this man has accomplished, I can remember in 1998 doing a football game at Iowa City, Iowa State at Iowa, and Dan McCarney in our pregame meeting said, you know, we haven't had a lot of success here. And he had gone 3-8, 2-9, 1-10. He was 30-point underdogs, and he told us if something doesn't go right here, we may be in trouble. And you know what? He won that game. They beat Iowa, and that was the first of 4 consecutive wins over the Hawkeyes. Let's check in with Heather Cox. Dan McCarney pacing the sidelines. Even though they went 3-8 in that season, Mark, that win against Iowa, I think, saved his job and helped turn this program around.
Well, it's something that not only the players but the alumni, everybody can gravitate towards a win against your arch rival in your state, and that's what this team's been able to do. They've been able to defeat Iowa 4 consecutive years.
Bowl win last year, the first in the school's history. 3rd down upcoming. Wallace's throw is high and incomplete, and it's 4th down and 7.
Now, obviously, this is the biggest play of the game coming up for Iowa State. And I think you've got to move your quarterback out of the pocket. Forget dropping him straight back. You roll him out of the pocket, and you make sure that you come down and knock the defensive end out. The offensive lineman has to cut him from the outside, allowing Wallace to escape to the outside, use his vision. If it's not there, put pressure on the defense, pull it down and run with it. If it's there, throw it.
If you're Alabama, do you come after him?
You betcha. I'll tell you what, if you sit back against a quarterback like Seneca Wallace, it'll cost you. It looks like Alabama's cheating towards the line of scrimmage.
4th and 7, here it comes. Wallace over the middle, caught, 1st down. Danielson with a catch. The Cyclones are still alive.
It's like the 15th life of that cat. They just continue to roll on. And Seneca Wallace, it's like he's so cool in the pocket. Keep an eye on Seneca Wallace in the pocket. The pressure's coming from the outside. Excellent pass protection by the line and running backs have given him time to look down the field. He had 1 receiver isolated and got the ball.
Wallace spikes the football with 1:18 left. That is a strange one. And it will be 2nd down and 10. Now the completion brought him a 1st down, and it also brought them within about a 50-yard field goal range. Sports Center is coming up after the completion of this, the Mainstay Independence Bowl. With 1:18 left, Iowa State chose to spike the football.
With timeouts left, that's what I can't understand. Here's the situation. Why waste it down? I know you've got a tremendous quarterback, and you feel you've got a kicker that's in range already with the strength of his leg and yell, but still, you've got a lot of time left on it.
Whistle stopped this play with a flag coming back at the 14-yard line. And the play clock was right down at 0. Ouch. This takes them out of the long field goal range. They lost the down on the spike, and they lose 5 yards on the penalty.
Now, that spike comes back to haunt this offense. There's some plays that you're going to go back when you break this film down, and if it costs you the game, it's like, we've got timeouts. Why waste a timeout? Get to the line of scrimmage and run a play. Don't waste a play by spiking the ball.
Now 2nd down and 15. Wallace under pressure, delivers it, Banks the tight end, the catch. Banks is to the 30-yard line. 3rd down and about 7. Banks is slow to get up. That's going to stop the clock.
And one thing about Mike Banks, the reason why they call him the Manimal, he's a tough guy. And there's a reason for that. He's going to hop off the field. But what I was impressed with when he caught this ball, Here's a guy that's an experienced player. He's a senior. Going back and look at, he wrapped the ball up with both hands, sacrificing his body, knowing he was going to take a hit, but he protected the football.
47-yard field goal from here. So Wallace really can't afford to take a sack on 3rd down and 7. Lots of time to the sidelines, incomplete. Montgomery couldn't hold it. And it's decision time here, 50 seconds left.
Going back to that play, the entire middle of the field was wide open. They've got to take a couple shots down the middle. They've had a lot of success in this drive throwing the ball in the middle of the field.
Field goal unit coming on. Tony Yelk's longest, 47 yards. This is a 47-yarder. Now the play clock, I think Iowa State's going to have to take a timeout here.
Yes.
The play clock is down to 7. They can't get this thing off. And Yelk sees the clock, and the presence of mind of that redshirt freshman pretty big in that situation. He calls the timeout. A 47-yarder for the lead when we get back.
Sidelines. Tonight at midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific on ESPN.
This month at Sonic, we're rolling out our new Big Cheese. To mark the occasion, Sonic's chairman, our own Big Cheese, will deliver the very first one. Our new Big Cheese is the biggest burger we've ever brought you. Made with 2 juicy burger patties and 3 slices of smoky cheddar cheese, topped with crisp bacon and tangy sweet honey pepper sauce. Who knows when it'll be back again? Just for the holidays, enjoy our creamy eggnog shake, just like old-fashioned eggnog.
It's a day you won't forget, and a day you've planned for. College Sense, an intelligent way to save for college.
14-13, Alabama on top. Tony Yelk for Iowa State about to attempt a 47-yarder. It equals his season long. He is 2 of 4 tonight. Good from 41 and 36, missed from 40 and 25. Plenty of foot, missed it. He missed it. And Alabama will take over and they can run the clock out. That was close.
That's got to be very frustrating for Dan McCarney to have a field goal kicker with such a powerful and strong leg and to miss 3 field goals in this game. It's a good snap. It's a good hold. The protection's there. And there it is. It's up high. It's long enough. We're just at the very end.
I'll tell you what.
That looked like it was good. Hold on a minute. Let's take another look at this. I want another look at that from the end zone, guys, if we can get this. This field goal is good. That is a heck of a kick. He thinks it's good.
Alabama's going to go to a knee. The clock will expire. Well, Iowa State's going to take a timeout. That is one of those field goals that goes right over the upright, and the official has to look up and make the call.